Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Talk episode 37. We have a huge episode today because we can finally announce that our merch is live. We've only been teasing it for, I don't know, since episode, one? We've been talking about merch. So here we are, 9 months later. We have it officially dropped, and we hopefully went like above and beyond expectations in terms of how much we dropped. There's so many awesome designs, ranging from just your standard Real Talk apparel to stuff that includes our favorite movies to some stuff that's inspired by some other iconic moments of this podcast history. So definitely go check it out. It's realtalkpodcast.com. Super easy for you. Go check out all the merch.
Tyler's too humble of a guy, but this was basically all him with the website. So big
Yeah.
shout out. I know he won't give himself the credit he deserves, but
I appreciate it.
Hours this week.
Yeah, this was a long week of Real Talk for me working on this little podcast we got going on here. So very happy and proud that we got it all finally released. So go check that out. Of course, patrons already knew about this a couple days ago. I kind of keep them in the loop of all the stuff behind the scenes. So if you want to join the Patreon, not only because you would have got early access to this, but also because you get discounts on the merch based on your patron level. So, I mean, if you're planning on getting a lot of merch, like a Patreon membership would almost just pay for itself if you're planning on getting more than a couple items. So before you go ahead and check out some merch, make sure you check out the Patreon as well, because that might be able to save you some money in the long run, to be honest. But with that, let's go over today's agenda. We got quite a packed show today. We got Fast X review. We've all four seen it, so it's awesome that, with these big releases, we were all able to see it before this episode's recording. We got White Man Can't Jump. The reboot was released on Hulu. Seth is going to give us his thoughts on Beau is Afraid, and then I'll give my thoughts on all the other new releases that have come out that I've been able to tick off. We have a lot of news out of the Cannes Film Festival, including the Killers of the Flower Moon official trailer that's much anticipated. And then, of course, we got movie news, nerd news, and all that of the like before we're going to wrap up with the draft of fictional characters that we think would be the best at winning in a street race. So we got a packed episode full of family. Let's get right into it. How is everyone doing this week? I'm going to start off with Cameron because you got a fossil given to you this week. And I want to hear that story and how that all went down.
Yeah, first ever listener interaction. So shout out Glue, Grant Lewis. I would have known the name if he said Glue, I think. But basically what happened is I took a picture of Bumblebee at like a children's museum. So Indianapolis has a really nice children's museum. And it has like sections you can bring like a 10-month-old baby, which is what Bailey is. So we were basically we sat Bailey down in like it was like a dig site kind of thing, but it was basically like a not a ball pit, but almost like a bead pit. So like kids, they can sit on it and then like find fossils like in the beads and move stuff around. Is the general idea. And this person walks up to me, like pats me on the back and it's like, "Sup, man?" And I am just the most awkward person ever. So I'm trying to I'm looking at him for like 5 seconds, trying to like puzzle my brain to like figure out if I know this person. Like I said sup or whatever, and I'm trying to figure out if I know this person. And he's like, "My name's Grant. I'm a listener. I didn't want to bother you today." And he's like, "This is on the house," or whatever. Cause I guess he works at the Children's Museum. So he saw the picture of the Bumblebee and was like, "Oh, I work there." And gave me a fossil. And I was like, "Oh shit, thank you so much, man." And then my wife like made it very clear later that she was like, "You were around a bunch of kids," and yelled, "Oh shit," to this guy. I was like, I was so thrown off and I felt so awkward. I don't know if I was like, just like I don't even know what I did. Like I blacked out or whatever, because that was like the most awkward interaction of my life. But I do appreciate him saying hi, and I also very much appreciate him just being like, "Just wanted to say hi," and then leave you be, because that I was with my son, watching him dig around. Yeah, so shout out to Grant Lewis, Glue. He is a patron, so like I would have known Glue because that's like the name I see on everything. But it's just weird day. Other than that, this week, yesterday I went to brewing, so like we were tubing down a river and just boozing. To good. That's about as redneck as I get in the old state of Indiana. It was a good time. lots of booze. Got burnt out my mind, and then this morning I did not wake up because my son didn't wake me up, so I was a little late. That's on me. But,
nice. Yeah. Well, you got yourself a souvenir with that fossil, and it's just like crazy what
it is an awesome fossil, and I like genuinely love it. I have it on my in my room right now on that shelving that like I put stuff on. I really like dinosaurs, so I apprite that.
Yeah, Riley was very jealous of that because she loves dinosaurs, and she's like, "The hell, no one ever gives you any fossils." I'm like, well, maybe we need to start going to children's museum ball pits or whatever. But yeah, like our reach is crazy because like, so you're like in, like I'm guessing that was like in Indianapolis or something like the.
Yeah, it's Central India.
So like Central America, like center of America, like you're getting noticed. While at the same time, like
as well, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then like at the same time, we have like we released our merch early to people on the Discord, and we still haven't gotten an order yet from America. We've gotten 3 different countries that have ordered merch. It's just like that's just like crazy. Like our reach is wild. But we'll move on to Seth. Yeah, so your Lad Bible video was released. I think last week was the first time we teased it on. Or let people know on the episode that something was going to be coming maybe 2 weeks ago. But that whole experience has come to fruition. The Halloween video has been released. How has that been going, and how's your whole week been going?
Yeah, I can't watch it, man. It's too awkward. I don't really like it. Although, I think I did pretty well. I don't know.
I know you did pretty well.
Yeah.
I think I did pretty well. Yeah, that was fun.
You did great.
I didn't actually realize it came out, and then they didn't tell me anything. They put it out yesterday, which was quite nice to see. That was cool. I had like a lot of shares, people saying like well done and stuff. Good opportunity. I like that. It seems like every week I'm coming on here and saying that my Airbnb got cancelled again, but my Airbnb got cancelled again. That's 4 in a fucking row.
So are you going?
We've booked. Now Airbnb has been well and truly just fucked off completely. So now we've booked like an apartment hotel through another.
Yeah. I was gonna say after the Sanking cancellation, you should have just booked.
Well, the most recent one was because her washing machine was broken in the apartment, and it's like, what the fuck does that have to do with us? I'm not going to be using the washing machine. And I said, and Alex at Adamson Visuals said that, and then she was like, "Oh, we want all our services." No, that's fine. We don't. I'm not expected to pay less. Just don't use the washing machine. I wasn't planning on using it anyway. And then she's just said that, which is great. So now we booked apartment hotel. But the only issue is because it's in central London, George, it's near where we went with the markets and stuff.
Okay.
So that bit's quite nice, whatever. Because you're looking to stay around there, the later you leave it, and because it's Comic-Con is a big thing and everyone's booking it, the more expensive it gets. So every time we've had to rebook, it just gets more and more expensive.
Yeah.
But we booked a total of 5 accommodations now. But this one is sorted, so we're going to that on, I'm going up down to London on Thursday. That's also Friday, going for the full weekend, which should be nice. Meeting loads of other film people. I think they're going for a meal and stuff like that. That'll be kind of cool. Week-wise, my allergies have probably been the worst they've been in years. I don't know what weather's like you guys, but it's got really sunny here. Sunny for England anyway, and my allergies have just been horrendous. Like waking up, not being able to see, that sort of thing, just awful. Which is quite nice because the sun's out, whatever. But apart from that,
you can't sleep.
Do you know what? The sleep's not too bad. It's just the mornings. It's just like the first thing when I wake up. It's just horrible. UFC last night, that was cool. And then went to see Beau's Afraid finally, which obviously I'll go over in whenever we're doing that in our session. But yeah, pretty decent week other than that.
Nice. And then, anyone listening who wants to see his Lad Bible video, it's on their Instagram, I believe. I don't know if it's on their other socials yet, but it's for sure on their Instagram. He's been sharing stuff on his story, but I'd imagine by the time this podcast goes live, some of the stories he posted might not be there anymore. So Lad Bible on Instagram, go check it out. You'll be able to see it. It goes over horror villains. So when you find a video, it's like, who's the greatest? It's like, who's the strongest horror villain in history? Is that kind of like the prompt that starts out the video? Yeah,
because I didn't really want to speak highly of Halloween Ends because I thought it was fucking shit, to be honest. And so I managed to kind of work it out with the guy who was doing the marketing director, and he was like, yeah, I didn't like it either. So what we'll do is we'll just talk about Michael Myers, because I like the Halloween films, or at least the originals, and I like Michael Myers, so I'll just speak positive about Michael Myers. And the only thing I had to reference to Halloween Ends is I just had to reference a scene where he kills someone. So I'm not directly speaking about the film. So it's about him as a villain more than
in this one scene from this really good movie that came out last year.
Yeah, but luckily I got with it because I don't think I would have been able to do it. You know, if I was like, this is one of the best horrors in years, you need to watch this, because I'd just be blatantly lying. And my followers would know that I'd be lying as well. So I kind of got away with that one anyway.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you had sasaid that, people would have rushed to letterbox them and like, no way.
You gave it a 1 star, bro.
Yeah.
Like someone commented that, and I was like, well, to be fair, I didn't actually say I liked the film at all. I just said I like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So
definitely from the video, like you would never get the impression that you like the movie or anything. It seemed like it's like purely about like Michael Myers and like the Halloween aspects and afterthought. But George, how's your week been? You threw some axe yesterday. What else has been going on?
Yeah, threw some axes yesterday, which I super suck at. But no, week's been good. Got to go to a nice early screening of Fast X, which was on a Screen X, which was my first Screen X experience.
What's a Screen X?
It's like the sides of the movie are also projected.
What was that like?
It was, I don't know. It's very weird because like it only turns on for certain scenes. So like half the movie is just one movie screen, and then like the other half is like the action scenes where they want you to like feel immersed. So they put on the projectors on the side. But no, it was good. It's definitely like I'm trying to word this in like a polite way, not to shit on Regal right now, because thank you for inviting me. But like, it's very clearly like a beta test. Like, I can't imagine this is their final product. Like, the sides of the screen didn't really line up perfectly with the main screen. It was a little blurry. It wasn't as bright as the main screen. So it was like, it was cool during the action scenes because like you do feel like really like right there in the action, but like it was a little off-putting because like nothing like kind of lined up with each other. Like it was on like a half a second delay of like being perfectly lined up with each other. So like it just looked very odd. But no, it was cool. It was definitely cool. I was supposed to see Top Gun Maverick. Regal had invited me to an early screening of that as well, and that was supposed to be like their Screen X debut.
That would probably be better.
But the two side screens weren't working. The two side projectors weren't working, so we ended up just watching Top Gun on like just a normal screen. But no, other than that, work's been good. I saw some coworkers on Wednesday night or Thursday night. Friday night, stayed in, watched a movie, and then met Victoria out with one of her friends. And then yesterday, I had some college friends in the city, so we went axe throwing. We went to this really great deli by me, actually, and then we just went to one bar, and then we called it a day. And that's where I am. And then I finished my night watching Night of Cups, which we'll talk about later this week.
Nice, yeah, and my week has been solid. Just a lot of work on ReelTok, TikTok, all that stuff. It's been a grind week this week because, of course, last week I was in D.C., and then right after that came home to Riley's parents in town, so I was busy with them until like Tuesday, and then ever since they left, I've just been head down grinding on stuff, getting work done. So been a busy week, didn't do too much, but we'll move into the bulk of the episode now. So we're going to start off today with a review of Fast X, and I'm actually going to start off here just to give my quick thoughts, and we'll start off, I guess, with a synopsis, but at this point, like, it's
family.
It's the same synopsis as the last 7 Fast and Furious movies. Basically, it's like there's car racing, there's girls booty shaking, and there's unrealistic action scenes, and there's more Hollywood A-listers than you would ever be able to count on 2 hands and 2 fingers that'll make an appearance for 2 seconds. But the quick synopsis: over many missions and against impossible odds, Dom Toretto and his family have outsmarted, outnerved, and outdriven every foe in their path. Now they confront the most lethal opponent they've ever faced, a terrifying threat emerging from the shadows of the past who's fueled by blood, revenge, and who is determined to shatter this family and destroy everything and everyone that Dom loves forever. So, obviously, this Fast X chronologically comes after F9, but it was Fast 5, right, Cam? You corrected me, because I thought it was, like, I get all the Fast confused, but Fast 5 is basically, like, the first 10 minutes of this movie is just, like, the end of Fast 5. So it kind of, like, picks up from basically kind of where that left off in terms of that's how Jason Momoa as the villain is introduced, because Cam, I don't know if you remember that guy's name off the top of your head, who, like, dies in Fast 5, who's, like, related to Momoa, but it doesn't matter. It genuinely, truly doesn't matter.
No way.
Yeah, he didn't look like he had the answer anyways, but So yeah, Fast X picking up where
Starting
Fast 5 left off. Cam's gonna need to figure out his mic, but that's okay. I actually had fun with this movie, and this is the first Fast and Furious movie I've ever seen in theaters. So I feel like some of it might be that aspect because I've never been in a theater experiencing like the roar of the cars and the action and like a huge screen up close. But I had a good time with it. Like genuinely, like I had fun. Hated it a lot less than I expected to. I know I'm like easily the highest of the four of us here on it. But I just thought like at this point, like, and I'm super low in the Fast franchise. Like Fast 5 is my highest rated one, and that's like a 6 out of 10, which is like low compared to most people. But this right now is my third rated Fast and Furious movie in terms of highest. I have Fast 5 and Fast 7 above it. But yeah, I don't know. Jason Momoa is a super fun villain. I had so many like quippy one-liners planned for my Letterboxd review to start it off, but it had to like this movie had to be ass in order to use them, so I didn't get to use any of my the whole movie I was just thinking of like little one-liners I could put in my beginning of my thing, but I was like, I can't in good conscience do that if I'm gonna give it 3-star. Because like at the end of the day, when I walked out of the theater, I didn't hate my time at the movie, and like I wasn't sitting there wishing it was ending. So like in good conscience, I couldn't rate it any lower than like a 3-star, just because like I watched it and I was like, I'm like having a good time with this, fine time with this. Like dialogue is still atrocious, the plot is still super dumb. But honestly, like, so there's obviously, like, the craziest things ever in terms of unrealistic events that happen, but I still feel like, as a whole, this might not be the most unrealistic Fast movie. I feel like...
I mean, they went to space in Fast 9.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, even though there's, like, literally insane moments in this, like, I feel like for a Fast movie, this was, like, kind of grounded a little bit. Like, they played Rocket League with a bomb in this movie. So like, but like, I feel like for Fast and Furious, I don't even think that cracks top 10 of wacko things they've done. So they decided to keep it a little more grounded by only deciding to like drive down the Hoover Dam that's exploding at the end of this.
And then he's going to take on the water at the end of it.
Yeah. But yeah, I just Jason Momoa is really the thing that sold it for me. It just looked like that dude was having so much fun with this. And before going into it, I saw people comparing his performance to like what Heath Ledger tried to do in The Joker, and like I like genuinely had no clue how the heck that was even going to come close to being a thing. But I can totally see where people get that comparison from. Like he's clearly like he's a villain who's deranged, but he's very whimsical, and he doesn't really seem to be empathetic to anyone else in this movie. But I thought he did super well. You could tell he had a lot of fun. But other than that, you know, this movie is basically Avengers Infinity War, like with how many cameos there were, which for me with this franchise is so stupid and dumb that like we have either one or two. We haven't confirmed that we're getting 2 more movies. We either have 1 or 2 movies coming after this. And just give me all the people who've been in the franchise. Everyone, bring them back, and that's kind of what they're basically doing here. But we'll kind of break it up into spoilers, non-spoilers. There's not really anything to spoil here.
Yeah, I think we already... Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, you're back now.
I see my little blue box now, but I think we already kind of said some things that happen at the end. But
that's okay. I don't think anyone cares about how the Fast X movie spoiled for them.
Right, and like there's a couple things we'll save for the technical spoiler section, but yeah, I give it a 5.9 out of 10 for 3 stars. Just I had a fine time with it. Like it's one of those movies that I think is genuinely bad, but I didn't hate watching it, which is kind of like where I landed on like Black Adam, and another Rock movie kind of goes down that same thing for me. But I'm gonna kick it over to George now because he's the lowest on the movie. So give us your thoughts. You saw it in Screen X. What's your thoughts on Fast X?
I hate like criticizing these movies because like I knew exactly what I was going into. So it's like, yeah, I gave like a 1.5, like fine. Like the movie was fun. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I didn't have a good time watching it. Like there were some like decent action set pieces. It was just funny watching them go over the top again. And I do think Jason Momoa was great as the villain. I think that's the only reason my score wasn't lower. I like that he was this just super deranged, out of pocket man, but he's also like kind of intelligent and like knows what he's doing, like he's getting shit done. But no, I don't know. These movies just don't do it for me. Like I got so many comments on my review where it's like, bro, just turn off your brain and have a good time. Like that's literally what I did, and I still didn't like the movie. Like I literally turned my brain off and watched this movie, and I still just didn't have like that good of a time with it. I think at this point, like if you want to do these like over the top action movies, it can't be the 10th movie in your franchise because like it doesn't work anymore. Like that, it fades. That that excitement for this bullshit just fades after a while. So yeah, I didn't really have a good time. I feel like this movie, more so than other Fast and Furious movies, like shoved the idea of family down our throats. Like I feel like
It really did, man. I
it
agree
did
with
like
that.
crazy. And I feel like the filmmakers were like, oh well, people love the idea of family, so let's just talk about it every single scene. And like it
Jesus
kind of it like bothered me like crazy. Like this franchise was never like about family. Like that's just a meme that came up. Like obviously it was about family, but like they never explicitly like kept mentioning family in like the first couple of Fast and Furious movies.
Rewatch them. They definitely do.
Do they?
Yeah,
I just don't
it's-
remember. I just don't
it's
remember
worse
it being
than I
like
remember.
down my throat this bad. Like,
It's
this
not
movie
this
was
bad, but they
crazy.
definitely do.
But yeah, I gave it a 1.5 or a 1. What did I give it? A 1.
I gave it a 1.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It sucked. I didn't like it. Sorry.
Seth, we'll turn it over to you. Who did give it a 1.5? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm coming at this from like an angle of I've only seen the first 4, so I have nothing to go off.
So you're happy with the 10-minute scene of
Yeah.
so you're all in.
Yeah, you didn't even have to watch Fast 5 now because you basically got the 10-minute
You got it all.
overview of it.
I didn't actually. Yeah, someone told the guy I went with actually told me it was Fast 5.
Damn, I saw that. That was adorable.
You saw
My
what?
son's down here.
Cameron just waving and smiling to his son.
Oh,
Yeah, my son just came and sat down.
So yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, obviously. Do you know what? The first kind of half an hour, I was kind of having a good time. Whether that was the film's idea for me to laugh at it like that, probably not. But Vin Diesel is just the most unintentionally funny man ever. He's just so weird.
Sorry to cut you off. The scene where like Charlize Theron comes to his house and he like pins her to the wall.
It's so funny.
I thought they were gonna kiss.
He doesn't look real. I'm convinced he's not a real person. It's so bizarre.
I couldn't take it seriously.
It's when he
I
tries
just
to do
can't
these
take you
like
seriously anymore.
angry takes. It just.
I thought they were gonna kiss.
That
would have been great.
It just doesn't work.
I said in my like TikTok review that it's hard to take this many good-looking A-list people and just make it quite bland and boring for me because after a while it does get quite tedious. 2-hour 20. The first half an hour I was having a bit of a good time with because I was just like laughing at it. But then after that, it kind of just goes downhill, and it feels like it's so erratic in these films. I don't know if it's like this in all the films, but it goes from plot point, and there's no space. It's always like something's got to be happening. Like we transition from I don't fucking know, Michelle Rodriguez and Charlize Theron fighting, whatever, and it goes straight to this car chase. And it's like there's no in the middle and stuff like that, and it's very much a headache at times. The laws of physics in this damn thing, man, are ridiculous. Like they are crazy. You got Dom Toretto picking up a car backwards with one arm. And then what are we doing?
Oh yeah, that was, I remember that now.
It's crazy,
bro. When he's in the airplane
awesome.
and he gets in the car and like the back door opens, I'm like, he's good, bro. He's got this.
Yeah, it's like what are we doing? I've asked you guys this before, but I can't remember your answer. Have any of you guys seen Blue Mountain State before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw
yeah.
Castle, I was excited.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen him in
I
anything
miss
else.
him. I miss him just like
Who was
doing
that?
oil
Cam.
changes.
Cam,
Alan Ritchson.
how handsome is that man?
He's
He is the old.
Ames.
I feel like he looked
Ultimate.
overly tanned in this movie.
He looked
No,
no. I think it was the flashbacks where he looked way too tan.
was
I
the
think in
flashback. It
in
was the
present day
flashback,
it was
yeah.
okay, but in the flashbacks it was real bad.
He's like ultimate.
Is this the
Chad.
guy that like gave Brie Larson like the whole recap of
Yeah,
the whole?
yeah.
Okay.
Ultimate like Chad.
Yeah,
He's like-
that's a good
Which
looking
he
dude.
plays
Yeah.
a Chad and
He does.
Yeah, he is
A
Chad.
Thad.
He's a Thad.
Plays
He's a
Thad.
Thad. Yeah.
I
God,
miss
you
him
should
doing
watch-
oil
God,
changes.
You should watch that shit, man. That's so
Yeah,
funny.
you'd
I
love
know.
it. You'd love it, George. It's not
Uh,
good TV, but you'd love it.
It is
Is it-
quite. Some of them are quite like very funny.
There's a movie
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Right?
The movie is
The
terrible,
movie's
but I
bad.
love that shit, man.
Okay.
It's so funny.
Maybe I'll check it out.
But yeah, I give it a 1.5. There was, I can appreciate people fast. Oh, the drag race scene, they're fucking awful. Like they're just, I hated that whole.
They've gotten worse and worse.
This kind of whole female like dance, it's just so seedy and weird in early 2000s. Why are we still doing this?
I know.
It's
Every
so
time they go
weird.
back to that, I'm like,
I think they're trying to recreate the original match.
The vibe.
That's
Right.
what
They
they're
still
trying
throw
to
that.
do.
Yeah, they always throw in that original vibe for everyone. But
And
that's one of the things I kind of appreciated about this one was that it didn't really let you breathe with anything and just kept going action to action to action. Because I don't really think I want to see this franchise like take a breath and try and like give us plot points and like deeper development, because I just think whatever they decide to do for that would just be so stupid. So I'm just like, I'd rather just have them go action.
Yeah,
I think
I
most
do
people
think.
are the same with
I
Fast and
think
Furious.
the action, like, while it's not good, it at least keeps you. And you can maybe hear my son yelling. I think the action, while it's not good, you can at least keep you in the movie. Like I think I said this before. The night before I went to work on third shift, so I left at like second to third shift. So I left at like 3 a.m. ish. Got home, fell asleep by 4:30. I was up back at the office by 9:45 a.m. So I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep during this shit. I had a 9 p.m. showing. It kept me awake, and for that, I say great job, because the action like keeps you entertained at the very least, in my opinion. I said in my review, this is like just dumb fun. That's very, 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 very dumb. So it's not good, but a lot of the things that I have gripes with, I kind of went back to who gives a shit, because it's a Fast and Furious movie, and I don't think that gives it a pass. It's more just like, I don't care enough. I don't care enough to get mad about it. Like, I saw some people that were like genuinely mad. They went and saw it, and I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's to the point where it's like I wasted 2.5 hours.
It depends how familiar you are with.
Yeah,
universe,
and I rewatched everything except Fast X. Or no, sorry, this is Fast X. I rewatched everything except Fast 9 and Fate of the Furious, so I didn't get to the last two. But now my
Hobbs and Shaw too.
Oh, I guess I didn't get to Hobbs and Shaw either, because my rankings are all out of whack. This is my like 8th movie, and I dropped basically everyone I rewatched. I dropped a little bit except Fast 5, which I still really enjoy. But this is like my 8th in the rankings. I don't know if it'll stay there after F9, because I have F9 at like a 3 out of 5.
Sorry, go on.
No, you're good.
I will say that I quite like Jason Momoa at points. The guy he seemed like he was having a good time. He actually did make me laugh. And I do have a soft spot for John Cena and things. Don't know what it is.
I like John Cena.
But I will say, the girl that everyone's the one who was in Guardians 3, Daniela
Melchior.
Just hated her, to be honest.
No,
I thought she was terrible.
I was gonna say she was my second favorite in the movie.
No,
she was awesome. She was so much better than everyone else.
Brie Larson had awesome suits.
Okay, yeah.
You thought she was better than everyone else, Carl?
Oh, yeah. No. I thought Brie Larson was miles better than everyone else for like the 2 scenes she was in. She's just like, I was sitting there watching. I'm like, she is a much better actor than everyone in this movie.
When she was speaking to Vin Diesel in like that bar?
Yeah.
The comparison between them is just
between the two. Yeah. And then I thought Daniela Melchior was like the second best in this movie. I was like, these are the only 2 that I would consider like very good actors, and everyone else is just kind of hanging out doing their thing.
It's at the point where I don't even think Vin Diesel's acting. He's not
acting. He's doing his. He
is Dom Toretto.
You know those memes where it's like men will watch Joker and make it their entire personality.
He's Dom Toretto.
That's Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is a part of Fast and Furious. That's his entire personality.
Yeah. He's Dom Toretto and Groot. That's like 2 things. Isn't it?
One of my biggest gripes with this movie, right before we get into spoilers, is that basically everyone in this movie is sidelined except Dom Toretto. And I had this question, and I don't know if it's what's the word I'm trying? Disrespectful, but I'm gonna ask it just to see. Where do you think we'd be right now in this franchise if Paul Walker were still alive? I feel like Paul Walker I think
it would have been done.
I think it may have been done, and I think Paul Walker kind of kept it a little bit grounded and better movies.
Did people like him, like his performances?
No,
I don't think anyone likes his performances, but I think I like him in this.
People like his character, but like no
one's
ever.
I
don't really remember. I only remember that one line. You know what line? Forget about it.
Yeah, that line is so.
That
funny.
ruined him. That line, honestly.
I think he was generally people's like favorite in this.
I think he was character. For sure. Yeah. Also, really weird that they had Mia in this and not Paul, and they just didn't like.
Which one's Mia?
Mia's the sister that he's married to, and in like Fast 7, their like explanation is that he like quits this life and goes live with Mia and their son, which is super weird to bring her back
Yeah.
Oh, at the end.
Yeah.
No, she was in the
Hold on.
start. She was at the She was at the like lunch.
Because like John
and
Cena
everything.
went to like her house to like take the kid, and she's like,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah, your
that
dad's
kid.
at work." But you
Oh,
said,
Seth, you haven't seen Fast and Furious. They didn't kill off Paul Walker's character.
No. Oh, they didn't.
No, they do the
No,
see
no, no.
you again.
Yeah.
It's I wrote this.
Oh,
in my
was that
review
the
of it.
point
It's
of it? Where,
genuine.
where it splits
Yeah.
up, so he's like
Yeah.
driving away from
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
They
it's
didn't
genuinely
kill him
one
off.
of the better like character send-offs.
What
I
film
think
was
in the
that?
movie. Fast Seven.
Fast 7.
Oh, yeah.
Furious.
Which
Furious.
by the way, sorry. This is a Furious 7 fun fact that I made up. I don't know if it's true, and I don't believe the Fast and Furious writers to be smart enough to make this true. But Furious 7 is just Furious 7, right? And in that movie, Vin Diesel is like, this time it's not just about being fast, and so that's the only one in the title that doesn't have fast. I don't think the writers are smart enough to do that, but that's something I picked up on. So there you go.
Nice.
There's
Wait,
my
James-
feedback.
James-
James
Looking at the
Wan
deep
directed
cuts.
it.
Yeah.
yeah,
James
Wow.
Wan, yeah, he did pretty well.
That's
I
why
think.
it's one of the better ones for most people.
it's my favorite of the franchise. So
Yeah, it's my number 2.
Interesting. I did not
3.
know that.
All right, we can get into spoilers. I have to. I'll be right back. So
Are we even getting into spoilers?
yeah, I was just
You'll-
going
I
to
think
talk
there's
about
no- I think there's
some of the
enough to
big
spoil.
things. So like, namely, first off, the thing I'm most excited about for Fast 11 is to see how they're going to explain how Tej and all the people that were in that plane, like I can't wait to see the story of how they actually survived that, because like at the end they're all in that plane and like they bazooka rocket like one of the engines and it crashes in the mountainside.
Big
I can't
plot
wait to
twist.
see like they have like an ejector seat because there's no way they died. Like they would have made it much more dramatic.
No.
So I
they
can't
just
wait
drove
to
a,
see
they
what
just drove a
ridiculous
car out of
way.
the plane.
Yeah, they just drew like a
I mean,
car.
honestly, that
car.
could be an explanation. I love so George. I don't know if you picked up on this like super minor cameo in the airport. Did you pick up on that? So when John Cena's walking the airport with a kid, and he has like the big look like kayak.
21 Pilots.
Yeah, he runs and Debbie Ryan, like who's his wife.
Yes, I said that to my friend immediately. I was like, there he is.
Yeah, such
Someone
a
commented
weird
on
random
my
cameo.
video
So it's the
about
drummer of 21 Pilots and his wife, who's Debbie Ryan from the Disney Channel. But yeah, they literally like I think they might have one line, but basically like John Cena bumps into him, and I think the guy was like, "Watch out," or like, "Sorry, man," or something. And then they're gone. It was just real quick.
Yeah, it was such a weird. I mean, is he like a huge Fast and Furious fan or something?
Yeah, I don't know, because like there was no 21 Pilots songs in the soundtrack or anything.
No,
so I don't know.
no.
I guess he must just know someone in the production or something, and they were on set one day. They're like, "Yeah, sure, I'll be in the scene." But
So funny.
John Cena though is like a guy. So there's obviously dozens of Hollywood actors that are like beyond jacked, like like the Rock type standards. But something about seeing John Cena, he just seems like a different level to where like he always looks like he's about to burst. Like his arms are just always look like they're gonna explode.
Always.
I think he was I think Thad Castle was like the guy who just was so much bigger than everyone.
Yeah,
That
he's
guy-
like
huge.
big though. John Cena looks like he has
Yeah.
a permanent pump all the time.
yeah.
Did you see Thad Castle's? Sorry, whatever his
Yeah.
fucking name was. He's Thad Castle.
Yeah.
Alan
His arms
Richardson.
in his polo.
He was huge.
Although that man had no legs. He had some time.
John Cena has no legs either.
Did you know? Okay.
I think it's
John
just by
Cena's-
comparison, it's hard to have legs when your
Yeah,
upper
that
body's
big.
just juiced that big.
There is. Just train them just as much, and you'll be fine.
That's just so
There
funny
you
though.
go.
Like that, he like literally he carries a plane onto the plane. He just carries it as a
Jokes.
carry-on. So
That was
so
awesome.
unreal.
Am I,
That was
am I
awesome.
stupid for legitimately thinking that was a kayak?
No, I
Dude,
did.
I
And then
did.
when
Too.
you pulled
I
it
thought
out,
he,
I was like,
I thought he was
I
just
think-
literally like they were trying to make him seem like he was some like granola
Yeah.
outdoors. But I
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
thought he was just
same,
like, I just
same,
get a kayak
same.
everywhere I
The
go.
entire time, I'm like, wow, they're really playing into this father-son on a
Yeah,
camping
yeah.
expedition thing.
And then
He
so
pulls it out. I was going, what is he about to pull out of this motherfucker?
I already mentioned that this was like Avengers Infinity War for Fast X because everyone comes back. So we have obviously Charlize Theron's in this movie. We have Gal Gadot, who makes an appearance at the very end.
Oh.
Time out. Can you hear me? First
Yes.
off? I don't see my little blue box, so I never know. I completely forgot she died in Fast and Furious 6. I texted Tyler and I was like, I was like, shut up, you're not gonna watch these. I texted Tyler because I was texting him during this movie, and I was like, when did she die in F8 or F9? I didn't get to watch those, and then I'm like, oh shit, she died when Han died. They just already brought Han back, but they didn't bring her back yet. So it's just so dumb, man.
said,
no one dies in this thing.
And I don't know if this is fucked up to say, but I said this immediately after to my friend who I saw the movie with. I go, they kill off everyone and bring everyone back. But the one character that they probably should have killed off, they didn't, and they're never going to bring him back for obvious reasons.
I don't know if that's fucked up to say, but I think I put this in my review. I genuinely think that's one of the best character send-offs for Paul Walker.
No,
like, it was so good.
It was great. It was
that
great.
makes that movie.
But like, it's funny that like all these characters are dying and coming back, but the one character, the main character that's still alive, you want me to believe he's just dipping for good?
And that's like what I feel like retroactively is the point in the series where since so many people come back that like you think are supposed to be dead, it's almost like jokes on us at this point because it's like, come on, like one of the main actors literally died in real life and they didn't kill him off. So how could we ever expect they're actually going to kill off these characters in the movie? So Gal Gadot returns. Obviously, the post-credit scene that pretty much everyone had spoiled for them before this movie came out, which was wild.
There was a post-credit scene?
Yeah, there was a post-credit scene. But it was a spoiler basically everyone. It's just that The Rock has come back to the series, which was kind of crazy.
I kind of liked it, though. I liked this post-credit scene.
No, I texted this to Cam. I was like, Cam was like, wow, there's so many cameos and new people coming back. It's crazy. I was like, this franchise is so dumb and over-bloated that, like, if we're going to have a finale, just go out with a bang. Bring every person back, every A-lister that's ever been in these movies. Bring them all back, which is what they did. Because, I don't know, who am I missing, Cam? Who else came back? Gal Gadot, The Rock, Jason Statham. Jason Statham.
Which, by the way, I know you said Jason Momoa is the best villain. I love Jason Statham in this. I don't know if it's just I love Jason Statham, but I think he's so fun in these Fast and Furious movies. I don't know about who came back, but another big thing about this movie is, or not this movie, this franchise, everyone has a sibling. Everyone has a sibling. So Jason Statham is the sibling of the villain in Fast and Furious 6. Mm-hmm. Jacob, John Cena's character, is a sibling of Dom, obviously. In this, we get Daniela Melchior's character, who's the sibling of Elena, who was Dom's like love interest in Fast 5 when Letty died off or whatever, and then she got killed in Fast 8. Jason Momoa, obviously the son of the villain in Fast 6 or whatever. I think there's more, I'm certain of that, but everyone's a sibling, man. And I don't know if there are any cameos I'm missing, but there's so many of those where they're like, hey, I'm your brother all of a sudden. And the grandma is the grandma of Dom. And this is something I mentioned. Fuck that. She wasn't around for any of this shit. She's given a speech about how this family's been together through so much. You weren't around. You don't know what this family's been through. You don't know any of these people. Get out of here. That was right.
Was Jason Statham the villain and before?
He was Fast Furious 7's villain, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And also every villain's good now. Cypher and Letty are friends. Shaw's a good villain. Jacob was the villain of Fast 9 or whatever. Like, everyone's good now. Jason Momoa is probably gonna like become a family member by part 3, and then who knows, man.
I'll freak out.
The drag racing scene. The drag racing scene. This just felt so out of place too, because like, there's always gonna be like a race with the villain in these movies, but like Jason Momoa seems like the biggest baddest in terms of like just pure destruction and death and just disregard for human life. So it just seems weird that they just like tone it down in the midst of all that and be like, let's have a quick drag race. And then, of course, he tries to kill everyone with bombs in the middle of the race. Like, obviously he's going to do that.
This is a very classic, and this happens in every Fast and Furious movie. It's like, because at one point, it's something about the streets or whatever, and so they all point guns at Dom, and then
that's so funny.
Guns at Jason Momoa, and it's the same thing as like, which one is it where he stomps the garage?
That's
Tyler. Is that Fast 7? Yeah.
Fast 7. Yeah, where
he's like, you mess with the streets.
Yeah.
And then again in this one, and I made this is the first movie in a while I've taken notes, and they're fun because this dude's an absolute, like, this movie's just so stupid. It's fun to take notes. Dom is always making, oh my shit, my kid just stood up for the not first time, but on his own for the first time. Sorry, that is a big parent moment. Good job, bud. Good job.
I mean, obviously, it's going to happen when we're talking about the biggest family
That's
movie of all
so
time.
funny.
Yeah. Sorry, but Dom always is making people fight for him in the streets. And this one, it's against Ames. And then they just get the shit kicked out of them. And I'm like, God, I would stop fighting for this guy.
I'm eagerly waiting for Cam's son to start walking around and Cam to freak out right now.
No, he just stood up. Good job. All right. Y'all, Ludacris is awesome. That's all I got a couple other notes.
Oh, the running joke about what was the running joke with Ludacris and the other guy? What's his name? Tyrese. There was one running joke.
Being a leader.
Maybe it was the being a leader. It was like the money thing. Either way, just the whole. I think Roman is hilarious.
I didn't like the girl.
I do not think Roman's funny.
Which girl?
Which girl?
The English one. What's her name?
I don't know any of their names except Dom Toretto.
The English
she's
girl.
the girl
the
from
group.
Game of Thrones. She's the girl from Game of Thrones.
Oh, she's like Melisandre.
Yeah,
The
she's
friend,
she's
one
the
who hangs
smart
around
one.
with
I
Who
don't
has-
know her name.
Who, by the way, I took note of this, has the best line in the movie where all of a sudden she knows stuff about cars. And she says, "Oh, that's right. I know stuff now." Because in the previous two movies, she's just this like expert. She created like God's Eye or whatever, but now she knows about cars. My kid's crying, so I'm gonna mute.
It's because she's a part of the family now.
Yeah, maybe. Was she in the first ones? I don't remember.
She was in 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But yeah, I don't really have any more thoughts for this movie. Like Cam said, I do think a lot of people got sidelined, especially like Brie Larson was just so wasted in this movie. Like she had just like 2 random scenes, but at least they gave her like super fly drip for both her scenes. Like when she had like that blue suit with like the like diamond shoes or whatever. Like she was always looking fly, but she barely got anything to do.
She had the action sequence as well, though. At least she had one of those.
Yeah. I just feel like
Fussy.
when she was like announced that she was joining the franchise, people were like expecting more from her.
Because she's a big name, they have to push
Right.
her so much.
But then again, like this movie just had so many people come back and so many cameos with like Pete Davidson being in there that it's
Pete
just like no one
Davidson,
really was
yeah.
able to get much life or get much runway except Dom Toretto because there just was so much, and John Cena got a big part in this. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Rocket League's scenes and just
Shout out Rocket League. I love Rocket League. My
What's up,
one
George?
question is,
or Cam.
was George gonna ask?
I
me?
didn't see who was coming.
My one question is, are title cards of locations being overused now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't like the font. I
That's the
really
big-
hated it.
That's the
I
big
don't,
new
I don't,
thing.
I don't mind it if this is like in a movie like this where they are going to.
This
a
one
million
needed
different
it. They were freaking. They traveled the world so
Yeah,
fast and so
They
often.
went
This.
everywhere.
They put them small and in the corner. I don't like how they.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just don't like the
I
presentation.
almost instead of like a title card scene of like the city, I would rather have the cutscenes be like a quick world map with like colored dots and say like the names of everyone, because I feel like everyone was kind of like shifting continents and countries because they were like in
Zoom out
they were
and
in
go
Brazil,
into
they
the
were
art.
in Rome, they were going everywhere. Like I was like,
At the bottom left of the screen, there needs to be a map, the entire movie with a pin of where every single character
It
is.
stays on the screen.
Just
honestly,
stays on the screen the entire time.
yeah.
And then last point that I want to mention, and this is just a prediction, but I guarantee you by the time this franchise is over, we're getting the quote. I wrote it down. Not only are we fast, but we're furious too. And that's going to be some sort of quote.
I would hate that.
Probably.
I would hate that so much. Or it's going to end with Vin Diesel being like, we've always been fast and furious. There's some stupid shit like that.
Whatever this franchise ends off with, the final like 3 minutes is just going to be a voiceover by Vin Diesel. It's just going to be some of the corniest, most ridiculous shit you ever heard. But you know what? Everyone in these movies are making their bag, having fun with it. So
That's true.
Whatever.
They are making their bed.
And-
Yeah,
and no one
I
had
didn't
more
realize
fun
how
with it than
much
Jason
money
Momoa.
they put into these.
they got to make it.
I mean,
You know what the
they
budget
make a lot of
was?
money.
340 million for this film.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man. I didn't realize how big they were.
yeah, and
Who knows?
it's Fast and Furious at the end of the day. Ridiculous movie, action nonstop, basically 2 hours and 20 minutes without letting you breathe. In terms of there's just no real time to let you sit with anything. I liked it more than most. I gave it a 3-star. Cam gave it a 2-star, I believe, and then Seth gave it a 1.5, and George gave it a 1. So we all were different on this one from varying levels, degree of disdain. But we'll wrap it up there with the Fast X review, and we will move on to the other reviews we got this week. So first off, we'll start with White Men Can't Jump. a remake of the Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes movie of the 90s, I believe. And now we're back with it. Cal Maddock directing, Jack Harlow starring. And I think a lot of people are looking forward to this just simply because of the Jack Harlow effect. Can't say it was that great, though, at least for me. I'm going to kick it over to George first because he was higher on it than me. So, George, what were your thoughts on White Man Can't Jump?
Yeah, it's funny because like White Man Can't Jump getting a 2.5 for me, like that's a good 2.5. But like I don't know, something like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood getting a 2.5, that's a bad 2.5. So like I gave it 2.5, but like I'm not gonna sit here and shit on this movie. Like, and I think going into it, I was expecting it to be like a 0.5 out of 5. So I just came out way more pleased than I expected. And I don't even like Jack Harlow, so I wasn't even like rushing to see this movie. I just happened to come home from work early on Friday, and I saw it had been released. I was like, all right, let's just tune this on. This movie genuinely had me laughing. Like there were moments where I was like genuinely laughing. There was one Bon Iver comment that had me rolling, bro. It was so funny. But this movie is exactly what you would expect. It lacks like the heart that the original lacks. It lacks kind of like the chemistry between all our characters that the original like succeeded in like crazy. Jack Harlow is a terrible dramatic actor, but I guess he balances it out because I thought his comedic timing was super on point. Like genuinely, I thought he was funny. But no, this movie didn't do anything for me. It was an entertaining hour and 45 minutes. And I went in expecting this to be my lowest rated movie of the year, and it's not. It's a 2.5. I thought I had a decent time with it. I'll say, like, I had fun with it. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely laughed. But you know, at the end of the day, this movie just did nothing for me.
Yeah, not to make a basketball pun, but this movie just felt like it had like no bounce to me. It had no life. Like it was just very much a movie that was written as a reboot, and they just kind of copy and paste. Like they just kind of went through the motions on set and didn't really look like Jack Harlow like was fine in this. It didn't really look like anyone was having fun though. Like it didn't really look like anyone was like really happy to be there making this movie. They just like I genuinely laughed out loud, not for the right reasons when. I don't know the name of the other guy in the cast. Let me get this quick. So when Cinqua Walls, when he wins like in the basketball game at the end, and like the game's over and he like walks right up to his wife, he's like, "My dad's dead, isn't he?" It's like, or like he's gone, isn't he? It's like it's something about like how unemotional and undramatic he was in saying that. Just like quickly wins a basketball game, he's like, "My dad's dead, isn't he?" I was just like, I just laughed. Like that was just weird and out of place.
The dramatic moments of this movie are what hold it back for me. Like I wish they just embraced like this reboot as just like a full blown comedy, because I laughed a chunk. But like there were just some moments, like even when like Jack Harlow is fighting with his girlfriend at one point, I was like, there's just like their acting is so bad, it just removed me from this entire scene, which should be like an emotional scene. Not emotional, but it should have been a heavier scene because they were talking about some like heavy stuff. But it was just not it.
George, whenever one of us get around to proposing, we got to take a book out of Jack Harlow and this and just pretend we tore our ACL and fall to it. Pretend you tear your ACL and fall to your knee and then turn that into a proposal. I was like, God damn, this is
that was so funny.
Yeah, so corny. But like, I enjoyed Jack Harlow's like goofy character of just being like a kombucha loving, sandal wearing hippie. He's just a funny guy. But I can't really say I enjoyed much of this movie. It was just kind of just like a very, I don't know. It's just like you turn it on and I got exactly what I was expecting from it.
Yeah. It's like I saw Chris's review actually made me laugh. He was like, no, it wasn't a good movie, but I turned it on and started doing my laundry and forgot it was playing in the background. So I had a good time with it.
Right. And that's what it's kind of, I mean, it's a Hulu original streaming movie. It's kind of like, that's what I feel like is meant for. Like, if you're going to watch it, don't give it your full attention. Like, it's not really worth that. But if you want to just have something on in the background, not the worst thing in the world. There's kind of good vibes in the movie, I guess.
Yeah. But there are worse movies out there. For
definitely.
Sure.
Anything else you want to add on White Man Can't Jump?
Not really. Just highlighting that Bon Iver comment. I literally had to rewind that because I was dying so badly. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, and then I love how like he like ended up in like he actually ended up playing for like the Lakers G League.
Yeah, like a 10-day.
It's like it's such a trope in like basketball, like street basketball movies where it's like, oh, I'm gonna make it to the league, but I feel like no one ever ends up actually like making it that far. It's about like the experience and what you learn along the way that matters. But in this movie, it's like no, it literally just goes from the street to like, oh, now I'm on the Lakers. Sweet.
It was also funny because like all of these like invitationals or basketball tournaments they played in, like they not one time mentioned like any scouts, any
Right.
NBA players being there watching. Like in my mind, these are just like, small California or Florida, wherever they were, tournaments that they're just playing in. Like, and then like they win the tournament in which none of them like excelled. Like none of them showed any prowess that would get them to the league on a 10-day
Right.
contract. And I was like, okay, my man made it. And now Jack Harlow is also I guess, guru.
Yeah, there's nothing more I need to add on that one. It was a very fine, bad movie. Like it's not like I don't like rate it 1.5 in any disdain or not trying to spite it. It just there just wasn't much there.
Exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Nothing more.
I'm gonna do like a quick 1-sentence review of all these other new releases I saw. So we're gonna rapid fire go through them because I did have a quad feature on Friday of new releases because I like with travel last week and with family in town, like I hadn't seen these new releases, so I had to check off a lot. So I'll just go in order of what I watched for my quad feature. Started off with Master Gardener, latest movie from Paul Schrader. Felt a lot like The Card Counter, if you guys saw that Paul Schrader movie from 5 years ago or whatever. But
the one with Oscar Isaac, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, Oscar
Have
Isaac.
you seen First Reformed yet?
I have not, so I
Please
need to
watch
get
it.
around to that because I didn't love Master Gardener. It's like I know like Doug really enjoyed it, and it's like it's a movie that's getting mixed reviews, but Paul Schrader cultists are really liking it. So
I think I might like it. Yeah.
I think I didn't realize Paul Schrader is such a cult following. Where like literally like every review on Letterboxd is the same exact thing. Like, oh, Paul's so silly for this. Is like the parasocial glazing going on is wild for Paul Schrader. I don't know. It's a weird movie. I didn't love it. I didn't connect with the main story. Like I could say what it's about, but that would kind of spoil the wild premise that this movie is. So just go for what you saw in the trailer. It's just a gardener, and some things aren't as it seems. And once you find out what the things are that aren't as it seems, it's a very interesting premise. It's very interesting to say the least. I gave it a 2 out of 5 star. So I didn't hate it. I just didn't really love it. Then I moved from that into Fool's Gold, which I did hate. That's my lowest movie of the year. Charlie Day. I don't know, man. I really like you, Charlie Day. It's bold. He made it basically a Charlie Chaplin style comedy because he has 0 lines in the movie. He never says a single word. Everyone else in the movie is talking, but he doesn't say a single word, which for someone who I think is just genuinely as funny as Charlie Day, that's just a bold move for a comedy to just completely kind of remove you from it. Ken Jeong gets a lot of the dialogue in this, and this is like the least funny Ken Jeong's ever been, which is saying something because I genuinely think he's usually very funny.
Is that Hangover?
Yep, that's the Hangover guy.
Also, Fool's Paradise.
Oh, sorry, did I say?
You said the Matthew McConaughey Fool's Gold.
Very different movies. Fool's Paradise. Yeah, Fool's Paradise was ass. It's the worst year of the movie for me. I didn't laugh once, didn't chuckle once, didn't even have like a heavy breath once. Like it just wasn't funny. I kind of just hated every second of it. From there, I went into Hypnotic. Wasn't as bad, but that's just a bad movie, man. It's like they literally just tried to combine Inception, Interstellar, Memento, and it felt like a soap opera on top of that. Ben Affleck just didn't look like he wanted to be there. I feel like he just purely made that movie just to make some paychecks just so he could pay for the air budget. But yeah, it was just not a good movie. Hypnotic, 1.5 star. Don't waste your time with it. And then finally capped off the quad feature with Blackberry. That is very much worth it. I think that's a must-see for everyone, whether it's in the theaters or when it gets out on streaming. But I gave that a 4 star. It's like right on the border of being a 4.5 star because I gave it an 8.4. Genuinely super funny. Glenn Howerton, I think, will be or could be an Oscar nominated for his acting performance. He did incredible. I roasted his bald cap in my Letterboxd review because that's the worst bald cap I've ever seen. Turns out not a bald cap. He just actually shaved his head. So something's just very uncanny about the way he looks in this movie. It's like he has a lot of makeup on. It's just odd. Like he's not old enough to play like a character with that kind of hair. I don't know. It's weird. But the movie itself, very funny. And then it gets very dark and it's very good. Blackberry, highly recommend. And then quickly finish the rapid fire. Still a Michael J. Fox movie, the documentary. First 6 minutes of that like hooked me more than any documentary ever has. It's on Apple TV Plus. Everyone should watch that. It's like, even if you're not like a huge Michael J. Fox fan of his movies, which I don't know how you couldn't be, like the Back to the Future movies are incredible, or at least the first couple. Yeah, it's such a good documentary. I think everyone should see it. It's only 90 minutes, and it's genuinely so good. Like not just like the subject matter, but like the way they tell the story is super great. Book Club, the next chapter. I got into the book club lore this weekend. Watched the first one and then watched the sequel. It's like fine. It's like a 3-star, which is better than I expected.
Oh,
it to
really?
be. Yeah, it's like a 5.5 out of 10. So the very bottom rung of 3-star, but it was like a very fine, okay movie. Like I had more fun with that than I did 80 for Brady. And then lastly, Carmen. No one's talking about this movie, but it's starring Paul Mescal and Melissa Barrera. And
Is it out?
yeah, in like limited theaters. I saw it. I had to go to like my niche theater to see it, but it's a musical. They dance a lot in it. Paul Mescal, you hear him play the acoustic guitar and sing. You also see Paul Mescal bare knuckle box. You see Melissa Barrera dance a ton. I feel like this is a movie that like film Twitter would love, just because it's like two up and coming stars that do stuff that like everyone would love to see them do, like play music and be shirtless. But yeah, so
trying to see Paul Mescal bare knuckle box.
Yeah, dude, like it's he basically plays like a border patrol agent, and Melissa Barrera is playing someone crossing the border, and their paths cross, and this all happens in like the first like 2 minutes. That's kind of what like the story is, and then from there they go together and run away together, and this is kind of the story of that. And Carmen is Melissa Barrera, and that's the whole premise of the movie. But yeah, it was fine. It was like 5.7 out of 10. It's super unique and artistic, but Paul Mescal and Melissa Barrera are awesome, so it was cool seeing them. And that's the rundown of all the new releases I've seen. So I'm going to kick it over to the new release that Seth has seen, which finally, not really finally, it's not the farthest A24 release the UK's had. It's probably only been like 3 weeks or a month or something since it came out here. But yeah, Beau was afraid.
That was like a year, bro. I still haven't seen that, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah, I missed out on cinema, so I'm definitely waiting until it comes out on streaming here.
But Seth is now officially a boner. Let's hear it. Beau is afraid. What's the review? The boner champs.
It's really weird. I really liked the first kind of hour and a half of it, mainly because I related and empathized with Beau. You know, he's afraid of the outside world, his anxiousness, his feelings towards family, towards people, towards isolation. I found it really interesting and also quite scary as well, in a way. And I think that Ari Aster has a way of shooting which just makes me incredibly uncomfortable. And I found it to be really, in a positive way, well, in one of the first hour and a half, but then and the play scene as well. I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen?
You were for a second, but you're back now.
Yeah, I froze me. Yeah, the play scene I really liked. I don't know about you guys. I kind of felt like I was tripping out for most of the play scene. It was really fucking weird. But I really liked that bit. Joaquin Phoenix was great. What's his mom called?
Oh,
Patty LaPoe?
Patty LaPoe, like something. Yeah,
I think she was fantastic. I really, really liked her. But the kind of final hour just lost me in a way, and I think it's hard with a film like this because this is a very much a self-involved film from Ari Aster, where you're going to either connect with it depending on your experiences and your emotions and how you relate to certain things. And I think it's very much hard to. It's very self-indulgent, isn't it? It's on Ari Aster, and there's no getting past that. And it was a shame because when I watched the first an hour and a half, I was like, I'm going to give this like a 4.5. The way this is going, I'm loving this. And even though it lost me in the second half, there was no point where I was bored or I felt like it was tedious, which is surprising for a 3-hour film, especially given the fact that I gave it a 3-star, which isn't crazy high. Tyler, did you give it a 3-star?
Yeah,
it might be
George.
I give it a 3 too.
Okay, so yeah.
I've been a 3.5, honestly, but yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, so it was one of them where it didn't get tedious, but I think the social commentary in the final hour and a half was very much in your face. Like with the penis monster, it's like, I get it. I know what you're trying to say, but it's so obvious what you're trying to say that it's like, what's the point? It found it very much to be the last hour and a half very shallow and surface level in a way, whereas I think the first hour and a half was very much more well done. However, that might just be based on my experiences and my empathy with Beau. I thought Joaquin Phoenix was fantastic, as he always is. I think he was really, really good. And I think on a technical level, it was a fantastic film that I will watch again because I think it will be a film that benefits from it or warrants another rewatch because there's so much to it. But yeah, really, really good first half. Feeling didn't really last in the second half. 3-star. I did enjoy it, but it's a shame because it did very much fall off for me after the first kind of hour and a half, I would say.
Yeah, I tweeted the other day. I said, like, for some reason I want to rewatch Beau is Afraid. And I honestly feel that way with a lot of Ari Aster films, which is, like, weird because I've only seen them all once. But, like, Hereditary, obviously, like, wild movie, scary movie. But, like, Something about it I want to rewatch. Midsummer, super disturbing, like a movie you wouldn't think you'd really want to watch again, but like for some reason I'm drawn to like wanting to rewatch it.
Yeah,
So
I
something
need to
about-
watch Midsummer again.
Something about
Yeah.
Ari Aster's like addicted to me. Like I kind of want to re-get into that world again. So Beau was
I know what
afraid.
you
I think
mean.
I will rewatch like immediately when it comes out to streaming because I've been kind of itching to.
I've watched Hereditary, like I'm sure George has as well, like probably 4 or 5 times maybe.
A couple of times, yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
But Midsummer, I've probably only seen. I think I've only seen it once, and I think that'll deserve a rewatch because
I've only
that's
seen it
been a while.
twice. Yeah, I'm weirdly
Yeah.
like not compelled to like rewatch
Well,
Midsummer
I
the
did
way I
love
like
Midsommar.
Hereditary.
So I felt like at the time I may have been missing something because I didn't love it, but I did like it, and I feel like there's a lot there that maybe I didn't take in at the time. I think Ari Aster's he's a very weird but interesting filmmaker. I just think
He makes movies for himself. He doesn't care
No, this is the
what
thing, isn't it?
anyone is going to think
Yeah,
about his
which is
movies.
why I admire about him because his films are so self-involved.
Yeah.
Where if you're loving a film that is so self-involved, like he doesn't give a fuck. He's just making movies for himself, like you
Yeah.
said. So it's quite an accomplishment that people love him as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Also, just to put in my note, now I have seen Beau is Afraid. You know the argument of Peel, Eggers, Aster. You know what was going on Twitter because like
Yeah.
horror filmmakers.
Yeah.
1,000,000% I'm sticking with what I said before. Eggers 1, Peel 2, Aster 3. For me, anyway. That's my 3. I'm assuming you'd be Peel, Eggers, Aster.
Another way around. Peel, Aster, Eggers.
Really? Yeah. That's disgusting.
I think I'm
You're
Peel
a horror,
Aster
you're a
Eggers.
horror guy, man.
Peel
I
Aster
know.
Eggers as well for me.
I rate Hereditary and Midsummer higher than The Northman and The Witch. But I think The Lighthouse is better than Midsummer.
Oh, he's the Lighthouse your number.
And like right there with Hereditary.
Midsummer like a 3.5. Beau is Afraid like a 3, and Hereditary is obviously really high.
Yeah.
Get Out really it's close between Aster and Peel for me.
Yeah, Get Out holds.
really like
Yeah.
puts Peel in a place another because I just fucking love that film. But yeah, it was good.
All right, well, moving on. So right now, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, just stop what you're doing, go on your podcasting app, and make sure you've rated us 5 stars. Give us a good old rating, and click that follow button on either Spotify or Apple Music, and give us a follow on those platforms as well. It would truly help us out. But we will move on now to trailers. Cameron?
I can't remember what I did last week for trailer time.
Star Wars kind of theme, and then you're like,
I thought it was more like a rock and roll, but it was like hey, it's trailer time. That's this week's theme. So perfect.
I think that was last week's theme, so a little
Okay,
unoriginal,
perfect.
but we
I think
won't
it
hold
was
you.
around there.
last week.
No, Star Wars was for Star Wars.
No, I think you did
Dun,
it.
dun, dun, dun,
I think
dun,
you
dun.
did that for trailers.
All right, I'm gonna have to rewatch. I'll have to get back on that and let you know.
That warrants extra rewatches, just as Beau is Afraid does. Our last podcast
Is
does.
that so? You got to find the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Well, this was a massive week for trailers. The biggest one being, of course, Killers of the Flower Moon. Obviously, we've all seen that at this point. Can you see the wolves in this picture? Of course, immediately becomes the meme of the Twitter world. Yeah, let's hear some thoughts on the Killers of the Flower Moon trailer. I think it looks great. I think it looks like a very filmed Twitter movie in the sense of that I don't think any normal person will see that trailer and be excited for that movie. It's not an exciting trailer for the average moviegoer.
You not
But-
think?
No, it's not.
I
It's
think
just
it's a
not.
very exciting trailer.
I think it's a very exciting trailer for us. I don't
For
think
us.
Yeah, I think
I think like even a few years ago, and I wasn't really into film. If I'd have seen this, I'd have been like, "Oh my god!"
yeah,
I guess
I think this 3.5 hour movie is not going to be an audience favorite. I don't think it'll be one of his more successful movies, but I think it'll be great. I'm very excited for it, but I don't think it'll be very successful. Box office.
I think it'll be
wise.
successful for itself, but it's not going to be like Fast X.
But
I
I
don't
think this
think
is
it-
I think
I
this
think
is
it'll
like a
make its
$200 million budget. Like I think this is
Jesus, really?
I think it's a huge budget movie. I don't think it's going to really be a box office smash. Like
No,
Oppenheimer.
it won't.
Yeah,
None
right.
of his films really are like
Right.
Silence.
That's what I'm just
trying.
trying to say. Like, I don't think this is this isn't a trailer and a type of movie that people are going to be like, yes, I need to spend 3.5 hours at the theater watching this. But they should, because I think it's going to be great. And people are saying this is Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance of his career. Anyone else have thoughts on the Killers of the Flower Moon trailer?
It's the first trailer reaction I've ever
Looks
done.
great.
First one I've ever done.
Yeah.
That's
That's saying
Seth.
something.
Oh, I
That's
stole
surprising.
George's idea. This is like a film.
Not
for me,
my
like,
idea.
It is. Well, you're the guy for it. You're the trailer reaction guy.
I got so many comments, as I always do, on my trailer reaction for the creator. It was like, bro's not even reacting. He's just staring.
I did this. Do you know what though? I take the piss out of you for that, but then I did it, and I did it because it's like, what do I say?
Also, that's
Exactly.
not true. That's not true, Seth. You've done a trailer reaction before.
Oh, you did the
Oh
one
yeah, I
making
did the
fun
real
of me.
talk. Yeah, making fun of God. Jack
Yeah.
and Jill.
Yeah,
Jack and Jill.
Yeah, I've been excited for this for fucking like, when did it get announced? Probably 2 years ago when the first image came out. Whatever, the image, like the one we always see. But I'm just so, and obviously we got the early reactions from the Cannes Film Festival. The embargo got lifted like yesterday, and it's looking extremely positive. So I'm all in. I'm very, 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 very fucking excited. But although it doesn't come out till like October, which is a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
The latest Twitter meme.
Is it the same date for you guys, October the 20th? I really hope it is.
October,
Yeah, I was scared with this one. Okay, that's cool. Oh, of course, it's a streaming film, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's coming out. It's getting a theater release though.
Yeah.
I mean, like predominantly, yeah.
But it's an Apple TV Plus film, and I did double check. It is a $200 million budget, so I was accurate in saying that. So yeah, stacked cast though. Obviously, we saw first looks at Brendan Fraser and Jesse Plemons and Lily Gladstone and Leonardo DiCaprio. So and Robert De Niro.
Jesse Plemons. Look, did you see him at the film festival?
Yeah, he's on that Ozempic. Every celebrity's on these days.
Really? Good.
Yeah, it's just
he's kind of a big boy for a while.
Jimmy Kimmel made that joke at the Oscars. He said looks like an Ozempic commercial in this crowd because it's just like everyone in Hollywood is on that drug right now.
Of course.
But it's working. Like Jesse Plemons looks freaking thin now. So the next trailer we got was Five Nights at Freddy's. Josh Hutcherson and what's that guy's name? Mr. Shaggy.
Freddie Prinze Jr.?
No, Matthew.
No, that's
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard, yeah.
But yeah, first look at that. I don't know. This movie it's got my attention. I know it's a huge cult following on Twitter. Yeah, I never played it, but I know people played the game. Have a cult following for this movie. But I think the trailer, I'm intrigued.
Really, George? I mean, you're not a gamer, are you?
It was a massive game.
I played it,
especially for streaming on Twitch.
But it was like a phone game.
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking.
I had never even heard of the title Five Nights at Freddy's until
this has got
this movie.
I
had no idea.
It's got a lot of lore.
Yeah, I got so many comments react to the Five Nights at Freddy trailer.
What you meant to say?
What is that?
So I used to play it, and it genuinely, if they do it the right way, the game was terrifying when I was younger. People used to. It was one of those games that was really big when in YouTube gaming was such a huge thing. Everyone used to play because you used to get the views. I don't know if you remember the Slender Man when that was first came out. It was Five Nights at Freddy's was like that with its viewing base on YouTube, and I used to play it. And I think if they do the film the right way, even if it's probably gonna be quite gimmicky, but I think it will probably work. But yeah, this has I was speaking to this about Anna earlier because she was speaking to people about at work about it. This has a crazy following. There's lore behind this and everything because of how many games there was. And people have been getting views doing trailer reactions and stuff on TikTok about this. I didn't realize it was this big.
People love a trailer reaction.
Yeah, people do love a trailer reaction.
But the views are all over the place.
Their way of watching the trailer, honestly.
It pretty much is. No one's actually watching you.
Yeah,
you just see it on their For You page. I'll just watch it.
Yeah.
You're just there.
That's why it's why do you care about my reaction? You're not paying attention to me.
Yeah, you're watching the damn trailer anyway.
Don't look at me. Watch the trailer.
Yeah, I'm using you for views. That's what I'm doing.
We also got a trailer for Extraction 2, which obviously features that 21-minute continuous one-take action shot.
Yeah.
Cam, you're a big fan of Extraction 1. You excited for Extraction 2?
Extraction 1 is just I think the action is so damn good that it really works for me. Extraction 2, if the 21-minute long take action scene is as good as I hope it is to be, I'll probably give this movie a fairly high score. I think I have Extraction 1 at an 83 or something like that. So 4 out of 5. It's not perfect, but yeah, I'm excited for this. I like Chris Hemsworth, as a person. So I like to watch the movies that he's in. Can't say it's my most anticipated movie of the summer, but I'm excited.
What's the release date on this?
July 16th. I did a video on it. Now I can't remember.
But it'll be
it's in the June. It's in the June 16th one. So it's with the Flash and all that. That day.
Everything is dropping.
Yeah,
but it's straight to Netflix though, so it's not going to be.
It is straight to Netflix. If you just want to sit on your couch, you can watch that.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch.
Yeah, and then George, the Bears season 2 trailer dropped. I know both you and Victoria are really big fans of that show.
Yes. Yes, we love the bear, and I love that. I feel like this is such like a fast release between the time that season 1 ended to the time that season 2. Obviously, there's no like massive CGI set pieces that need to be edited in post production or any visual effect add-ons or like anything of like that magnitude. So I feel like it makes sense that they're just pumping out these seasons. But yeah, I'm so excited. I love the trailer. I stand by. I think the Bear season 1 is the best season of television from last year. I have it above like House of the Dragon, Severance. I have it above like every show that I watched, at least. Obviously, I still haven't seen Better Call Saul or Barry, but every show I watched last year, The Bear is my number 1. I love it. It's chaotic. It's fast paced. It's exhausting and stressful. And then the trailer for season 2 just tells me that they're bringing all of that back.
Is it the one with Jeremy Allen White?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's
I get
so
mixed up with that.
fucking
Is
good.
it
He
the
is
chef or something like
so
that?
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like a world-renowned chef that like goes back to his hometown to run the restaurant that his brother had ran.
New meme alert! New meme alert! Tyler, please create this meme later. The Barry, and it's like the bear, and then but it's just Bill Hader. Please continue. Sorry.
Good meme. But yeah, I'm so excited. I really am. I love this show. It's an easy watch, and it's incredible.
We also got a new trailer for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I feel like we've talked about this movie enough, but yeah, we wanted to acknowledge the new trailer out. Anyone have any extra thoughts on the new trailer other than that it just looks like an epic action movie?
It's so much more than
I haven't
that.
started it either. I think we have to do it soon.
I've seen
Mission Impossible. I've seen 1 and 2.
I'm starting my watch through this week. I've seen none.
Go
Literally none.
When does this come out?
This is shit. I know.
Come on, Cam. You're the new release.
Oh,
guy.
July 12th.
Okay, I've got some time.
I got time.
The
I got
14th.
time.
I've got Black Mirror to tick off.
The 14th is that Friday, and for some reason this drops on a Wednesday.
And what is Dead Reckoning? Is it 6 or 7?
This is 7.
7. Okay.
But this looks fucking awesome. These movies are so goddamn good. I'm so excited for y'all.
I didn't love 1 and 2.
All right, 1 and 2 are not so
people-
goddamn good. 1 and 2 and 3 are not so goddamn good. 4, 5, and 6 are like some of the best action movies.
Which
And
one?
6
Which
is
one is
genuine.
Superman then?
Fallout is 6.
Okay.
So you gotta wait.
Oh, you
And
said
Henry
Henry Cavill, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
not
Henry
just
Cavill.
actually
He's
Superman. I
not
got a bit confused there.
Henry Cavill. Being an idiot.
That'd be
But
jokes.
they're so goddamn good. Go watch them. I'm so amped for you all. Not to watch 1, 2, and 3. So don't.
I've seen
yeah.
1.
I mean, I've seen 1 and 2.
I mean, one's fine, 2's bad, 3's okay.
I've heard 2's like the worst. Yeah,
2's the worst.
Okay.
2's the worst by far.
I've got some time.
I think I have like. Well, obviously, Fallout's a 5 out of 5. It's one of the best action movies of all time, in my opinion. And then I think I have like Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, like a 94 out of 100. So it's right there out of 5 out of 5.
Wow.
They're damn good, man. They're damn good.
I do like Tom Cruise.
No, I don't. Y'all aren't action people, but Tyler, it's the most plotted action movie. I'll give it that. So maybe you'll like it.
More than John Wick?
More than John Wick, yeah.
Okay.
It's better than Fallout is better than any John Wick. IMO.
Okay. Well, I mean, you do give it a 5-star, right? Fallout. So
Yeah.
You do
And
give
John
it
Wick
praise.
has dropped since by a fair amount.
George
Kick
is
it.
very angry at you right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than John Wick.
I haven't
I'm just
seen it.
being
I haven't
honest.
seen it.
Yeah,
I-
I'm
I
just being
can't say.
honest with you.
I haven't seen it.
Being
I
honest with you.
doubt it, but I haven't seen it.
Kicking
Being
it back
honest
over
with
to
you.
George, you did a trailer reaction to The Creator. Looks like a pretty
Okay.
wild new movie.
Dude, out of
Dystopian, funky.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Out
Interesting.
of nowhere. I feel like I've said this so many times on this podcast already. I've gotten so many comments before when this trailer dropped. People kept saying like, react to the creator, react to the creator, react to the creator. So funny enough, I was at work when I was like seeing all this like creator news come out, and I came home, and it was like 9 p.m. and then I completely forgot about, because I was gonna do a reaction, but I completely forgot. And then like 9:30 rolls around, and I see Soups posted the trailer on Twitter, but he didn't like in his caption write like the title of the movie. He just said, "This movie looks insane." So I started watching the trailer, and I got like 15 seconds in, and I was like, holy shit, I need to react to this. Is this Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon? That's literally that's what I thought I was about to react to. And then I like clicked into it and I was like, oh, this is the creator, but I'll still do a reaction. I still love that trailer.
I watched it through your. I didn't even know about it. Look, isn't it the same guy who directed Rogue One?
Yeah. It's worth noting that this is a completely like original
It's new IP.
It is not based on anything. Does that make it better? Who knows?
No.
But at the very least, it's an original IP. Everyone bitches and moans, especially if you saw like my trailer or my summer release schedule video. Like everyone bitches and moans that nothing's original. There are original things coming out at the very least.
Yeah, and
not
it
as much anymore, but there are some.
Yeah, we still have original, and this trailer kind of shows that. I love John David Washington.
Oh yeah.
I've seen this trailer so many times. I really like it. I'm very excited for it. I feel like the trailer showed a lot, but like at the same time, I could expect the runtime of this movie to be like 3 hours for some reason.
I can expect the runtime of every movie to be 3 hours or something.
Fair.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, I
saying that and
much.
then be excited for Killers of the Flower Moon, man. You gotta pick one.
No. We are not having the comparison.
You gotta pick one or the other. You just gotta be excited for them all.
Time. I can get him to 3.5 hours. He's done his time. He's paid his dues.
So Seth, if I make a movie and my first movie is 3.5 hours, will you watch it?
What's the genre?
It's gonna be a Skinamarink-esque movie.
For 3 hours, perfect.
For 3 hours.
It's just Skinamarink, but it's just my ass. It's not any wall corners. That'd be horrifying. That'd be terrifying, man.
I would watch that.
We also got a trailer for Theater Camp, which this was a Sundance release that I saw. I didn't love, but it was like one of the favorites of the festival. It's like The Office style directed mockumentary of a theater camp that's trying to put on a show to raise money to save the financial status of that camp to keep it going on forward. I don't really have much of say than that, other than that a lot of people really liked it. I didn't love it, so do with that information what you will. And then the last trailer we got was Downey's Dream Cars, which I just wanted to say, like, I'm just so uninterested in like Robert Downey Jr.'s car collection and Jeremy Renner's renovations and all these like
I
bullshit.
did not watch that shit.
Yeah, like there's this is like, I don't know. Like I just
renovations was renovations before or after the accident?
Before.
It was
It was
before.
filmed before,
Yeah.
yeah.
If this would have been something like after the accident, which he did like a 60 minutes interview, which again I didn't watch, but I feel like it would have been more interesting if it were after the accident. But
I thought it'd be renovations on like repairing his leg. But
yeah.
but no, there's just like him
don't know.
like being like a dude in his garage working in the shop.
cares?
And
Who
then
cares?
Downey's Dream Cars just showing off rich cars. Just like I'm so uninterested in this new genre of
So
shows
shit.
coming out of just like celebrities just doing what they enjoy doing, and someone just puts a camera to their face while they do
It's
it.
just because we have so much, like, 20 years ago, maybe this would have been interesting when you didn't get a million
Social
different
media.
celebrities thing. Yeah, and social media. Now, like, I'll see this shit on its Instagram and be like, okay, cool, move on. Like,
Great.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter.
So packed week for trailers. That wraps it all up. We'll get into movie news now. Starting with news out of Cannes. Quickly, we'll talk about Killers of the Flower Moon because we did already touch on it. So got very, very good reviews so far from most people from Cannes Film Festival. People have called it the best performance of Leonardo DiCaprio's career. It got a 9-minute standing ovation. Martin Scorsese or Lily Gladstone got the loudest roar of the crowd for all the performances. So really, it's a 3.5 hour movie. So I don't know that this has to be the biggest budget of Martin Scorsese's career, unless because Wolf of Wall Street is only 100.
That's a good question.
Because this
I
is
think
200
it might
million. It's probably it's got to be
How
his
much was
most.
The Departed?
What about The Irishman?
I don't think The Irishman was that much, like comparatively.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say this is the most expensive movie of his career.
I don't think York was 100.
So it sounds like
Yeah, The Irishman was 159.
yeah.
Was it? I thought it was like 100.
And The Departed was too long ago to be that big of a budget.
The
so-
Departed-
Yeah,
like,
Departed was
I didn't know if they paid everyone a shit ton.
Oh, no,
90%.
The Irishman I'm seeing on this thing has 250. That's a lie, surely.
That's too much. I don't know what they would have done in that movie other than CGIing.
Hugo was 170. Hugo was really high.
But still, this sounds like what is most likely is most expensive. But it sounds like it's paying off because everyone's giving it great reviews. We don't really know much more of it other than
100% through 5 reviews. According to Seth, is very excited about that.
Such ridiculous shit. I'm sick of this.
The polar
Oh,
opposite,
I hate
though.
it.
is.
I hate it.
Yeah, we'll get it. Now we'll talk about Indiana Jones. I just want to see an update. So now Killers of the Flower Moon's at 96% on Rotten Tomatoes with 27 votes.
Damn, one review bad. Tough.
No.
Tough. So then what has not been getting good reviews is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Received a 5-minute standing ovation, but Harrison Ford, it was like his sign-off. He got a surprise Palme d'Or award at the film festival. So, like, I feel like the 5 minutes was just a courtesy. Because,
I would have stood for 5 minutes for him.
Even the positive review, every positive review I've seen of this movie all sound like backhanded compliments. They're all like
I agree.
There's no genuine good reviews of this. There's either shit reviews or a good review that sounds like someone like grimacing while they're writing it, trying to be like as positive as possible for something that's bad. It sounds like, and what sucks too about the reviews I'm seeing is it sounds like it's not just like the IP's old, Harrison Ford's old. It genuinely does sound like a lot of people are saying the direction by James Mangold is not good in this movie.
A lot of the end of the reviews is always nothing comparatively to Spielberg's films, etc. And they're always doing these comparisons, so it shows that they're trying to, and they are very backhanded from what I've noticed. There are a lot of people praising Phoebe Waller-Bridge, is it, as being like one of the best thing or the best thing in the film?
She's in the movie.
No, as being like one of the best things in the film or the best thing in the film.
Yeah, I was just saying you were right with the name. That's what
Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Yeah. I'm not excited for this. I'll be honest. I haven't been since.
It's tough because James Mangold took X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is awful, and turned it into something great. So he took existing IP that was bad, turned it good. Now he's taking existing IP that's already very good and trying to continue that. And it looks like that's a harder task than taking something that's shit and turning it good. Harder to take something that's already so well acclaimed and keep it going. I don't know. From the second, like we talked about in this podcast, from the second I saw that first trailer, I knew this was not going to be good. I'm not excited for this movie at all. Harrison Ford's just too old to be doing this stuff. Good for him to get his flowers at Cannes, but doesn't sound like this movie's going to be great. It's got like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes now, but it's slowly been rising. It started off really negative, so not the best reviews there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Comes out in a couple months, so we'll be seeing it soon. But that's really it from Cannes. There's some other stuff like May, December, and some other films that are getting some pretty solid praise. An A24 project that I just forgot what it's called. But the big things were Killers of the Flower Moon and Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny. The other like big release in terms of like big name that's going to be like a wide release will be like Elemental, but that hasn't, at the time of recording this, hasn't debuted yet because that's going to be the film that's going to be closing out the festival. Disney's definitely crossing their fingers to hopefully get that one to not get shit on as much as Indiana Jones. But we'll transition from Cannes news into just normal movie news. So the saddest news of the week, hopefully I'm not forgetting anyone who like died or something because that's. But the saddest news was Barry Keoghan no longer starring in Gladiator 2. That's tough.
It has to be the Joker. It has.
So people said it was Eternals 2 is what I thought people said.
What?
Oh no, I didn't think so. I thought he got announced for a movie. I didn't tweet about it.
He did get announced for a movie. I did see this.
And then I thought that's what it was. Maybe Eternals 2. I would be shocked if they are getting a sequel.
The primary antagonist in a Ridley Scott Gladiator sequel with that cast for something other than Joker, for example.
Money.
That's why I'm saying it has to be the Joker or Marvel, though. Like that's why I don't think another project would pull him away.
If he turns it down for Marvel, I'm never forgiving him. Ever.
Well, I don't think he would have a choice. I'm sure he's locked into a contract from the first.
Where? Fair enough, unless he's locked. But fuck that guy.
Speaking of Barry Keoghan, Joel Edgerton, who's the main star of Master Gardener, looks like a carbon copy of Barry Keoghan from like when Barry's older. Like when Barry's like 20 years older, he's gonna look exactly like.
You think?
Look at like just like the, at least in that movie, he looks
know what
actually
Joel
like
Edgerton
I've
looks
never.
Like. I'll look at him in.
Just look at the Master Gardener poster. Master Gardener poster.
I know what he looks like, but I don't know what he looks like in Master Gardener.
That poster doesn't do him justice, but I think he's got the nose, I think, of Barry Keoghan.
I see what you mean a little bit. I do see what you mean a little bit.
In the movie specifically, I think his hair like looks less unkempt, but I don't know. I think he looks similar to what like Barry could look like
I'm
in
not
like 30
sure
years.
about this one.
Next piece of news, Ana de Armas, Jude Law, Alicia Vikander, and Daniel Bruhl to star in Ron Howard's Origin of the Species. Sounds like a stacked cast. Ron Howard, good director. That's pretty much all we know at this point, but very exciting. The full cast of Lee Isaac Chung's Twister has been announced. It's basically a combination of every up-and-coming actor that's attractive in today's society, pretty much. It's Sasha Lane, Glenn Powell, Katie O'Brien, Brandon Perea, Kiernan Shipka, Anthony Ramos, David Cornsweet, Daryl McCormick, and Daisy Edgar Jones. Fully packed cast for the Minari director to come back and reboot Twister. So I remember watching the original Twister as a kid. It freaked me out, honestly, when I was young watching that movie. But can't say I remember anything about it other than like probably a tornado comes and wreaks havoc and these people try to survive.
Good-looking cast.
Should be fun. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to be going for here because it's just all a bunch of young, good-looking people. So I don't know if it's going to be like, I don't know.
Is this the same guy who did Minari?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Minari yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And then last piece of movie news before we get into nerd news is the Super Mario Bros. Is now Illumination's highest grossing film of all time. They don't have a ton of movies, but those Despicable Me and Minions movies make crazy money. So Super Mario Bros. Even outpassed those. I'm still interested to see what Nintendo decides to do next with whatever IP they're going to release next in a movie form, because obviously we know it's coming eventually. But good job, Mario Bros. Being the highest grossing film for Illumination. Cam, off the top of your head, do you have a nerd news little anthem for the week? Putting you on the spot.
I just went to Star Wars. I just went to Star Wars. I don't know. I was trying to maybe like do an Avengers.
That is not original IP.
It's nerd news.
Me getting into my
that works. That kind of sounded like Mr. Garrison, honestly. Just talking, like introducing nerd news. So we'll take it. Start with DC. The final episode of The Flash airs next week. Grant Gustin says goodbye to the character. I've never seen a single episode of that. Like someone tweeted that, like some tweet that went viral was like, "This is the one show like everyone's seen one episode of." I've never seen an episode of The Flash. I don't think
it has good seasons.
The first 3 seasons are very solid.
Are very good.
The first season is like up there with one of my favorite superhero seasons ever, but it fell off.
It falls off
worse than like The Walking Dead.
I have not watched it, I think, since season 6, and I've heard it gets better maybe on like 8, or maybe this season's better, but I don't know. I'm not going to go back to it. Maybe I'll watch the final episode just as like I respect that they ran for 9 seasons. I don't know. I who knows if I'll watch it, but they did release like a what is it? Empire magazine maybe did like a poster, but it's like a video, you know how they do, and it was like Grant Gustin packing up a like box of all the Flash stuff, and that's kind of emotional. I don't know, but that's about as emotional as I'm sure the show gets in this final episode.
Shifting from the Flash show to the Flash movie, adds Stephen King to the running tally of people who have come out of nowhere and said it's an amazing movie. I need to see.
I don't know if this is real.
No, it's not.
It's a money laundering scheme.
It's wild how many people are randomly coming out. It's just Andrea Riseborough Part 2.
It literally,
Probably.
yeah.
Who knows?
You guys are
money laundering.
You guys are bums.
I think I'm excited for it. I think the movie just genuinely looks really bad. Like not the like. I think the product will be good, but I think it looks like everyone's like gelatinized.
No, but
Stephen
King has praised other movies before, and people suck him off every time he does. But now that he's praising the superhero movie, everyone's like, "Oh, he must be getting paid."
But he's spoken about superhero movies before, and it's he's never.
So it makes that big of an impression on him.
I will stand by. I have never once taken Stephen King's opinion into consideration before seeing a movie, so I'm just gonna keep that energy. I've never once sought it out his opinion.
You're into a film thinking of Stephen King.
Yeah.
What did Stephen King think of it?
Man, I wonder what would Stephen King do?
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Next Monday, there's a ton of nationwide screenings, so we're gonna get a lot more general audience reviews coming in. Because I know there's a couple near me, but they're all sold out. So maybe I'll be able to finesse my way into one. But George, you're also gonna be seeing it Monday, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing it Monday.
Oh yeah, you'll be telling us. You're gonna lie your teeth off and give.
I'm not gonna lie.
5 out of 5.
If it's worthy of a 5 out of 5, I will give it a 5 out of 5.
Have there been any reviews that we can see? Okay,
they're all 5 out of 5s.
They're not 5 out of 5s. I'm afraid to tell you.
Cinema Joe's reviews released. Like all the people have seen it. Like there's no embargo anymore. So
yeah.
Oh, is there not an embargo?
He said it was really good, but it looks like shit.
He said that?
visually.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, he didn't say it looks like shit. He was nice to me. He said it like looks like weird at times.
Did he say it was really, really good though?
Yeah, he was like it's good, really good actually, but it looks really bad.
He said it looked like a bunch of cutscenes.
That's it. Yeah.
He said comic book movie fans will really like this. DC fans will really love this.
Yeah.
So
perfect. I'm
excited.
sure it's a good movie. I'm not doubting that it's a good movie, but is it something where Tom Cruise is like, this is the best movie ever? I don't know. I don't think that. We'll see.
Jumping over to Marvel news, Jeff Loveness is no longer writing Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, and there's rumblings that with the writer's strike, with the Jonathan Majors drama, with Jeff Loveness no longer writing this, there's rumblings that maybe Marvel might be shifting course of where they're going to be going with the whole next Avengers franchise, but I just don't think that can be true because there's so many products that are going to be like being developed right now that all have this meticulous storyline that all weave together. I'd be shocked if they're going to completely like abandon their plans for Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Like obviously, like with the circumstances of Jonathan Majors, they kind of have to do something. But I feel like it's hard when you're already developing so many shows and movies that have to weave in.
You don't know if they will cancel or carry on.
Well, no, that just like that news has died down so much. I don't even know what's going on with it, but I don't know if they're trying to like just pass it by or something. And just,
well, they officially released, not really officially released, but with Quantumania coming out on streaming, they like sent a release, like some PR thing to all news publications saying to not include Jonathan Majors in any promotion of this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like they because like that was like a big thing like when it was that was released. It was like on Twitter. It was like Marvel's like unofficial first time like mentioning the Jonathan Majors thing was basically saying they don't include Kang in any of the promotions.
Which makes sense, but Kang's the only good part of that damn movie.
Yeah.
I'm worried they're doing kind of like, I feel like no one's mentioned it. They're trying, like DC's trying to just pass by the Ezra Miller stuff, which like Ezra Miller just sucks. I think everyone knows it, but they're just I think they're trying to like just dodge some punches of Ezra Miller right now. Yeah, Bob and Weave, exactly. I think Marvel might do that, which just sucks, but
just hang it up.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and then casting news: WWE superstar Seth Rollins cast in Captain America: New World Order. Interesting casting. I know he's like huge in the WWE universe, so Alex Coleman's probably like the happiest man alive. I'm sure he'll be a villain of some sort, either a villain or like a military guy, like just some buff dude carrying a gun.
What was the other MMA guy that was in?
Florence.
Yeah.
He was in Winter Soldier at the start.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also Florence Montano, or he's a UFC guy, right? Who he was Creed 3, and then he's also in Shang-Chi.
Who?
Which the Creed 2 villain was a UFC guy, right?
Boxer.
Or boxer. Was he a boxer?
Boxer.
I don't think he was a boxer.
Just carry on.
Okay.
Ivan Drago.
Yeah, Ivan Drago.
He's a
Florence.
boxer.
It's like Florence something. What's his last name?
He's a Florian.
Florian
Montanu. I don't know. He's
okay,
a boxer.
So I was close. I was right. He was in Shang-Chi though. And I think he's really good, or at least in Creed 2, I thought he was really good.
Well, the Creed 1 villain was also a boxer, Tony Bellier.
Oh yeah, he was. Okay, that makes sense. I feel like we also skipped over just the fact that Jeff Loveness got canned on the last one, which I feel bad for him, but probably for the best.
Don't matter.
I mean, I feel bad for him as a person. You never like to see someone get fired, but it's probably best for the movie. It's probably best for the movie.
Yeah, it's deserved. He fucked around and he found out. And
yes.
Marvel fans, mark your calendars. Loki season 2 premiering October 6th, just one episode at a time. And then all episodes of Echo will be available on November 29th. That obviously got Twitter in a little bit of a tussle because Echo's getting just all dropped at once. It kind of seems like they're just like pooping it onto the platform and running away with it, whereas Loki's getting more build up. Cam, what do you think about that?
So this is interesting. So Echo is, and you didn't watch She-Hulk, you didn't watch Hawkeye, which you didn't watch any of these, so it doesn't matter. Echo is a character who's deaf and is she's a fighter. But she has a lot of I think I don't know too much about her. She's got a lot more depth to her character. I know that. But this is interesting on why they're dropping it all at once. It's either one of two. It's not going to be a middle ground. It's either real shit or it's real great. They want it all at once. It's not going to be a middle ground, but it's very interesting that they're pulling a all at once release so they're mix and matching Loki, obviously, Secret Invasion is all or 1 week at a time, and then this is all at once. It'll be interesting to see. That's my only thought is it can't be a middle ground. It's either real shit or it's real good.
Yeah, I'm worried it'll be real bad just because they are.
Unfortunately lean real bad.
Yeah, because they are slowing down their releases, like compared to like, a year in the last 2 years of how much content they're cranking out and how often. So like you'd think because of that they'd be more willing to be like, yeah, you know what, you can take up the Disney Plus airwaves for 8 weeks with your releases once a week. But this seems like something they would have done a year or two ago when they're having like 6 new shows and 4 new movies in 1 year, where they'd be like, oh, quick, we got to just drop them all quick before this next project comes out. So yeah, will be interesting. And then another thing that got people on comic Twitter very upset is Miss Marvel is dying in a comic in July. So basically the internet's flipping out because she's like an up and coming comic book character that's just starting to now break into the MCU, and they're getting a lot of positive reaction from most people. A lot of people still hate on Miss Marvel and Mel Kalyani. But but Miss Marvel is dying in a comic run, which I don't know. Nothing more to say about that.
Iman Vellani? Is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah.
Oh, Iman Vellani. Okay, I was trying to figure out what name you were trying to get, and I was like, what? Okay. We're on the same page now.
So we'll see what that means for MCU future, but MCU and comics don't cross over 1-to-1. But I just wanted to mention it because comic book Twitter got super pissed off about that. Finally, Star Wars, sad news for Cameron. Filming for Mandalorian Season 4 is going to be delayed. So bad news for Star Wars enjoyers, but good news for the strike. So hopefully,
I think this is good news. Yeah, I think it's much better to take away the like big budget projects and make them hurt at least a little bit, because Disney's not doing great right now, like financially, like with Disney Plus and stuff like that. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be perfectly fine, but the last couple movies haven't made a ton. This is good. Hopefully the writers get paid.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
All right, that does it for nerd news and movie news in general. So now we'll move over to what have we been watching this week. Mr. Seth's film reviews. You're going first.
Okay, so
Good luck, Seth.
why good luck? Why?
Well, I'm just wishing you luck.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so this week I watched Silence, finally, which George has seen. The Scorsese Silence.
So good.
It comes in at 4th in my Scorsese
Really?
ranking.
That high?
Yeah. So just above
Okay.
After Hours and The Departed, just under Raging Bull, Goodfellas, and Taxi Driver. I loved it. Amazing, really good. I watched Jacob's Ladder. George, watched Jacob's Ladder. I finished off Denis Villeneuve's filmography by watching some of his old films, some of his first films, Maelstrom and August 32nd on Earth. Maelstrom was actually pretty good. It was really bizarre.
Jacob's Ladder, is this the one from 1990? The Adrian
not the remake, the original one. Yeah. It was really like proper psychological trauma. Really interesting, horrific. I watched the documentary finally of Hearts of Darkness. The documentary on the film of Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Wow, that is because Francis Ford Coppola's wife secretly filmed conversations with him throughout the filming. There was issues with local tribes, there was issues with the weather, there was issues because obviously he funds all his own films with the money. There was issues with Marlon Brando just being a massive like dickhead, really. And it was just so interesting. I'd recommend you always watch that, especially if you love Apocalypse Now, and if you don't, if you just like film in general. Black Mirror, I only watched one episode this week, which was Shut Up and Dance. Really good episode. Probably my favorite so far. With the 15 Million Merits and History of You.
Mm-hmm.
They're like kind of my top 3 so far. Then I watched Beau's Afraid. I watched Fast X yesterday, and I also watched Flea, which Tyler has seen. I actually really liked Flea, Tyler. I know what you mean about the animation, but I really appreciate it for what it was, and I think it told something that was really a good tale. And I did actually really, really like it. I give it a 4 or 5. And that, I believe, is pretty much it. That's pretty much it for me this week.
George, how about yourself?
A decent amount compared to how many movies I've seen recently. I feel like this week I checked off a bunch. I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer. Pretty decent, right middle of the pack, slasher, horror, slightly comedy, I would call it.
The 90s one.
Yeah, everyone was upset that I gave it a 3.5, that I gave it a 2.5, and my excuse for giving it a 2.5 was when I started watching this movie, I really thought I was watching like a scary movie type thing. That this movie was like a parody on other slashers because it was just like so fucking corny the entire time. And then I realized it was like a legit movie and not like a spoof movie. So I was like, okay, that's weird. I finally watched Park Chan-wook's Thirst.
Did you watch that? I didn't even see
Yeah,
what did you give it?
I gave it 4.5. I really enjoyed it. Made me feel super uncomfortable, but slightly aroused, which is
It's a very
weird.
horny film, isn't it?
It's a super erotic movie.
I'm glad
And
I didn't know what you'd think of that because it's only got a 3.7, but I also give
yeah,
it 4.5.
it like came out of nowhere with like how like I don't want to say sexual, but just how like
weird.
Yeah, I don't know, but no, I really enjoyed it. Obviously watched Fast X. I finally watched the original Ring from 1998, the Hideo Nakata movie.
Film. Yeah.
Really enjoyed that. Gave that a 4. Now I want to watch the 2002 American remake, but
the Gore Verbinski one, I didn't love that, but a lot of people actually like that more than the original.
It's so polarizing.
It's weird,
like,
yeah.
George,
can you watch Dark Water as well, please?
Yeah, I will.
Same director as The Ring, and I give that 4.5. I think you love that.
All right.
All over that.
Yeah, I want to watch that. And then I watched Creep, which is another horror movie that a lot of people have been recommending to me. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was definitely
watch the second as well.
I mean, it's creepy. That's like the best way to describe it.
The second is even weirder.
Okay.
Watch the second.
But like,
for me.
I don't really care about spoiling this movie because it came out almost 10 years ago. Bro, the entire scene where like you're watching the recording from in the camera and then he just like walks up behind him, puts out the wolf mask, and puts an axe in his head. I was like, this is
it's crazy on the lakeside thing at the end.
Fucked. And then the very end of the movie, like he opens the door of his closet and like it's just DVDs of everything. I was like, oh my god,
it's interesting.
It's really so fucking. That's not where I really thought that was gonna be. What?
They're making a third one right now. I think it's
finished. Are they?
Yeah, watch the second.
Maybe I watched the second. But yeah, I thought like the Letterboxd poster, and I didn't really read the description, but the Letterboxd poster makes it seem like it's like the supernatural horror movie.
I know what you mean.
So like I kept waiting for like something to happen. I kept waiting for him to like turn into the wolf when he put on the mask or something. But yeah, it was definitely a creepy ass movie. And then I finally watched Super Mario Bros. Which I did enjoy. I did like it. I really did.
It's not bad.
What did you rate it? I gave it 3.5. It's fun.
Okay.
I didn't expect anything more.
I saw you turn that on at like 12:30 a.m. your time after like a night of being out. I'm like, oh, George is he's in the right mindset to enjoy this movie right now.
I really do think I was in like the perfect mindset to watch that movie.
I was on your profile. I got scared because I saw White Men Can't Jump, and you've changed the poster to like the exact same poster as the original.
Yeah, it looks like the original. Yeah.
Got a bit worried then. That's fine.
Cam, what have you been watching this week?
I watched a lot of Fast and Furious. I watched Night of Cups, and then last night, so I said I went to brewing. So we came home and we're just, you know how you sit out in the sun all day and you're just beat. So I fell asleep at like, we put Bailey to bed at 7. I probably was asleep by 7:30, 7:45. And then I woke up like 12 and couldn't sleep. So I watched like an hour of Air. So I'm an hour into Air. I'll finish that eventually. I really enjoy it so far. I just fell asleep while I was watching it because.
Did you watch it on your phone or on TV?
On my phone.
Okay.
Like, I'm in bed. What do you want from me? I watched Night of Cups on the TV. So I guess I didn't fall asleep at like 7:30. I started at about 7. Then I watched however long it was, an hour and a half or 2 hours. What is it? So I fell asleep at like 9, I guess, which is just too early. So I was up at like 12 to 1. I liked Air. Night of Cups stunk, but we'll get into that later. And then a lot of Fast and Furious, like I said. I do want to mention that so I thought about this all week. And so we talked about Ted Lasso last week. I obviously kept up with Ted Lasso. I think this episode was better than, some others this season. It's still fine. It's still good, in my opinion. I think this is the problem with Ted Lasso. I thought about this all week. Season 1 is kind of just like the introduction to these people like Ted Lasso gaining the hearts of everyone, whatever. Season 2, and is all about like mental health in sports, and they took a lot of time doing it, and it was really good season, and really fleshed out everyone. So season 3, they've already in like 2 episodes they handle like being gay in sports. In an episode they handle obviously like the viral clip was like sending nudes after you and someone have broken up. They've handled a lot more other storylines, and that's I think that's the problem. I think I figured it out. I think the problem is they've just like they didn't pick one thing. They wanted everything for the final season. They don't flesh out these storylines enough. So I've said it multiple times. I don't think the season works as a whole. I think the individual episodes are great. And I still really enjoy those, but I don't think the season as a whole has worked because they have not focused on one individual like storyline. Because like this past episode was like international play was the general idea. So all the players went and played on their international teams. You know how soccer is weird, first off, but they just handle it in like one episode. And I just feel like they're trying to do everything this season, but they're not focusing on one thing. So there's my Ted Lasso rant of the day. But this is kind of what I've been watching. We can move on.
Nice. And then on top of all the new releases for me, I watched It. I really didn't like It, the 2017 It.
I'm telling you. If you didn't like the first
That's a
one,
bummer.
Yeah,
you
you're
are
not gonna like
going
the second.
to hate.
I think the
I like-
second is like just as good.
I think the second is
like
great.
The first one, I have it 3.5. I have the second one like a 2 or 1.5. The second one is so long, and the comedy in it for
Yeah,
me.
it's almost 3 hours, isn't it? It's like 2:49.
It is long.
Crazy.
So I have them both at a 3.5, I think.
Oh, I thought you okay, so you don't like fair enough.
I mean, I like the first. Maybe the first is a
Higher
4,
3.5.
low 4. The first is definitely higher. Nope, they're both 3.5s.
The first is good. I like the first. I do like
Yeah.
the first.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. It just left me with so many questions. It's the type of horror I just don't love where like I felt like it never gave me any chance to like breathe. Like it wasn't super scary, but I feel like it just kept being like jump scare, tense moment, jump scare. Like there wasn't really like much build up that it felt like any of it was earned. I just felt like, I don't know. It was just like a weird in between of like trying to be genuinely scary and just like being really campy and corny.
I like
know.
the it's because for me, it's like scary and really scares me, but it's not too bad that I'm like pissing my pants the entire time.
Right.
So
Like
I
there was a
think
couple
that's why
jump scares that got me good. Like the one with the projector, that one like got us really good. But other than that, there's like a lot of minor jump scares. Yeah, I just didn't love it. Watch Shark Tale though. Seth, you're on the right side of history with Shark Tale because that's a 2.8 average on Letterboxd. I just thought it was crazy because I gave it 3.5, which is what you have it as too. I had a lot of fun.
Was that your
with
first watch?
No. I mean,
Okay. So
kind of, yeah. Like I feel like the last time I watched it, I was like 8 or like something like where like I just genuinely don't remember anything from it. I remember like the car wash. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun movie. Rewatch Silence of the Lambs. So that's officially put the stamp on it in the ReelTok collection. There was never really a doubt with that one, but I just hadn't gotten around to rewatching it. So gave it a 5-star. So first new addition to the ReelTok collection.
Oh.
Which so fun fact for the merch, I updated the sweatshirt we have. We have one of our sweatshirts that has the ReelTok collection on the back of it.
Very
So
nice.
all the movies listed. So I bought one when merch was like in the beta before I rewatched Silence of the Lambs. So I'm gonna have a one of one. Only
nice.
item
Wow.
ever, the non-Silence of the Lambs
You
sweatshirt.
paid big money.
So I'm gonna need to
I
hang that
haven't-
in the Louvre. The one
I
ever
haven't
made.
I haven't looked at the website yet, but I appreciate you putting "Get yourself a devious new fit." I appreciate that.
I mean,
Tyler.
yeah, I'm not
I
just
like
gonna be like shop new merch. Like I'm gonna make it
No,
custom.
I like that. I like that.
What else did I watch? I watched Ted the other night when I was in the right mindset for Ted, and that was fun. Like Ted's so like I just forgot that it's like Seth MacFarlane literally just does exactly his Peter Griffin voice to a T for Ted, and I just found that so funny. Like by the end of the movie, I was like ready for it to be done. The gimmick kind of wore off, but the first hour, I was just laughing out loud. Man,
I
Ted's
like
so
the first
funny.
Ted. I think
Yeah,
Ted 2
I can't remember Ted 2 much, but it's
Ted
only,
2 is-
of course, only Ted is on Netflix, so I'm just gonna watch the first one, and Ted 2 I'll rewatch it again some other time. in
Ted
the future.
2 though does have the it does have like the stand-up comedy scene which goes viral on Twitter like once a week, but
Oh, God.
it is hilarious. It is very funny, but that's the only funny part of Ted 2, I think.
Yeah, and that'll do it for what we've been watching this week. So before we get into our draft, just want to mention again, the merch has dropped. ReelTokPodcast.com. Be the first to get your hands on the merchandise. on the website. And of course, if you're a patron, make sure you go check out the Patreon because you have discount codes that have been sent out to you in the Patreon main feed. So go check that out. And if you want to check out the Patreon, of course, links are in the description as always. But we're going to get to our draft this week in the theme of Fast X and the theme of family and the theme of going fast in a furious manner. We're going to be drafting fictional characters to win a street race. So I just thought be right on par with the Fast and Furious franchise. So just going along with it. Basically, no real exact. My mindset to this draft is basically just there's a race going on, and it's like the Hunger Games. We're drafting a team of 5. We just need like one winner though. But it's kind of like we're just like a NASCAR owner. We want to buy 5 racers, and these 5 racers are going to give us the best chance of one of them making it to the finish line and winning. So yeah, with that being said, we got the order today of George, Seth, Cam, Tyler.
Ooh,
fictional characters to win a street race. I prepared for this draft, and I absolutely do not have 20 listed. So I realized with the last pick, that means I'll have the last pick of the overall draft. So if all my people get taken, that'll be tough news. I'll have to be nimble on my feet. But starting off, George, first pick of the draft.
I don't know like what direction we're supposed to go here.
I don't think there's a direction we are supposed
like
to go.
I really
I don't know what you need to be a driver.
Neither do I. I don't know. So I'm gonna go with a driver that is particularly just has proven himself to be sick at driving, but also has like a crazy like gadget shit car. And I'm just gonna go with Batman, but I'm specifically going with Ben Affleck's Batman for this one.
Yeah, of course you are.
Why?
Okay, that is the specific one because he shreds around, bro.
He does. He does.
I knew Batman was going to be taken in the draft, but I didn't know it would be the 1-1. Seth, you're up.
I know that I'll get some Ryan Gosling points for this. And I like Cam gets those Ryan Gosling points, so I'm going to go for Ryan Gosling and Drive. Damn it.
Yeah, the driver and Drive.
He's not being Batman. He's not being Batman.
But he's Ryan Gosling, bro. That gets the votes. We know this.
Cam, be honest. Was that your first pick?
That was my first pick. I'm out.
Was it really your first pick?
Yeah, I wanna throw the rest.
The film's called Drive.
That's I mean, what do you expect? Am I allowed to take? So I think I'll make this rule before I do it. Are we taking anyone like from a movie that like
is a real?
Is fat? Like, are we taking any drivers from a movie?
Like picking someone from Rush or picking someone from Ford versus Ferrari, like a real driver.
I guess. Yeah, that's the kind of my question.
I have one of them as well, so I need to know
that. Or like someone from Fast and Furious.
Well, yeah, of course you can do Fast and Furious.
It's not a real.
But yeah, like a real. Someone from. If we're in a movie, you can pick them. No, I said fictional. I said fictional characters to win a race. That's the name of the draft. So it has to be fictional characters.
So it has to be fictional. Well, I'm going to take at number 1. I'm going to pull out Ricky Bobby then. If it has to be fictional, I'll go Ricky Bobby.
I'm confused. I'm trying to think.
Vega Knights.
You don't know Ricky Bobby?
I don't know what it is.
Oh my god!
I'm trying to think what like real person has been like what real racer has been depicted in a movie that Cam was like wanting to take with his first pick, but Ricky Bobby off the board.
Yeah, I'm Ricky Bobby, and if you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
Well, I mean, I'm shocked this fell to me at the 4, but I'm taking Dom Toretto. I mean, we've
That's
seen
fine. You can have him.
Yeah, he's not a real person. He's just like the guy's just.
Invincible.
I mean, he wins every race some way or another. He stays alive.
You can have.
So
you can have him.
And then in the turnaround, we're gonna go with Baby from Baby Driver.
Oh no!
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I think that's a good pick.
Damn it! I was really hoping that would fall to me.
No. Cam,
is it my turn again? All right, I'm gonna run down after this real quick, but I'm gonna take. All right, we're going a little crazy here, y'all. This is just gonna be stupid. I'm gonna take Miles Teller's character in Whiplash. Not a great driver, but I think he'll get places quick.
If he doesn't crash in the meantime.
If he doesn't crash, but he'll get places quick. That's what I'm going with. Miles Teller's character in Whiplash.
What a second round pick.
Second round.
That's gonna be a head scratcher on the graphic for people on Twitter.
That's a poor pick.
Yeah, Seth, you're up.
It's me. Okay. I'm going to go Mad Max.
No.
Was that your next one?
That's a great pick.
Yeah. No. I knew that would be a good one. Sorry.
I hate you so much.
Back to back for George.
I was like, should I take this first? Because like I was like, maybe it's not going to
Big
fall
one.
back down to
Yeah.
me. Oh, fuck.
Watch Cam just come back because I was like, I'm gonna say Mad Max.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
which he like actually might.
Yeah.
Oh fuck you, respectfully, of course. All right, I think my next pick, someone who's also just dope at driving, proves himself time and time again, James Bond.
Yeah,
There
that's
it
a good
is.
one.
James Bond.
And yeah, I feel like someone would have eventually taken that.
Definitely.
I mean, I would have taken it even if I got Max, since I have 2 back-to-back picks. And then my next pick, just out of respect, I want him on my board, and I'm going to take Brian O'Connor.
Nice.
Name doesn't ring a bell.
He's
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker from the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, just out of respect, put him on
Yeah.
my board. You know,
Just out of respect.
I'll take.
out of respect.
I'm pretty sure this guy's a solid driver. I'm gonna take John Wick.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in John Wick 4, he showed off his driving.
John Wick
prowess.
4. Yeah, definitely.
John Wick's driving around, opening doors, mowing people down.
This is true.
All right, well, Cam is his pick right now. We're waiting on him, so we're going to play some
waiting on
Jeopardy
Cam.
music while we get Cam waiting here. But yeah, so James Bond. Which James Bond? Daniel Craig? Doesn't matter, but I'm just trying to
You
fill
knew it was
airtime while waiting for Cam.
Sorry. I assume it's my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not going to tell you who it's taken just because it'll be funny if you pick someone. And we want to see if you would have picked someone we would have taken.
All right, that's fine. Let me look up. I got to look up this person's name.
I'd be so
Right
jokes
here.
if he picks all of our picks.
Definitely
you
won't be
gotta
picking
look up-
Seth's name if he has to look
Yeah,
up the
if
name.
he's going to look up someone's name, I don't know if he's picking any of ours.
Yeah.
All right.
There's gonna be something so cap and crazy.
No, this is a
Throwing his
legit
mouth.
pick. It's a legit pick. Am I good?
Yes.
Yeah.
We back. All right, so I'm taking Michael Knight from Knight Rider.
Oh.
That's
Alright.
that's a legit pick. Yeah, that wasn't like a.
Yeah, I did not know
I'm
you were
j-
gonna know that.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what Knight Rider is.
I don't
Is
know.
it a TV show or is there movies
Yeah,
too?
it's a TV
Okay.
show.
I don't know what that is.
I'm really hoping my next pick gets
You don't
I
know, like,
only know of
it-
Knight Rider from references to Knight Rider and other IP. I've never seen Knight Rider.
I was thinking the
I've
same.
never seen Knight Rider, but I know what it is.
I'm gonna go with in the third round. There's a little bit of issues here with he's a little too moral for my team. Like he might throw it at the end and not just give me the W, but if we can push him to make sure he crosses the finish line, Lightning McQueen I think is a great addition to the team.
Take Lightning McQueen. Damn it.
Does that count?
Damn it. I know. I didn't.
Why wouldn't it
Doesn't it
count?
count?
I was gonna try
Because-
taking Lightning McQueen.
Because he
pick.
is a car.
I thought I could get him in the 5th round.
He's a car. He's not.
Yeah, but
he's not
I think it
driving a
counts,
car.
man.
That's a
I
great
think it
pick. That
counts.
is a great
He's
pick.
a car.
He's a
Doesn't matter, it's a
character
great-
too. He's a
He's a
character.
character. He's a
He's a
fictional
character.
character. And he
Yeah.
would race.
He's a
I
character.
Ah,
saw
that's
that.
so
So
annoying.
many dogs.
Fuck, man.
And then on, you know, it's a Lightning. So I'm trying to think of how to build a team here. So Lightning McQueen's a great wingman. I'll go for the other wingman, Cal Naughton Jr. from Ricky Bobby. The bake to the shake of Ricky Bobby.
The shake and bake, baby. I like that pick. This has probably been taken in the time that I was away, but we're just gonna see. I'm gonna take Baby from Baby Driver.
That
Yeah,
was
that
taken
was
while
taken-
you were
You were
here.
here. You were.
Who took that? Who took that?
I
Tyler,
did.
right?
The second
Oh,
round.
my fault. My fault. All right. I wasn't paying attention. All right. This one may have been taken while I was here. Who knows? Can I take Furiosa from Mad Max Furiosa?
That'll
that's
play. That'll
interesting.
play.
Man,
That was going to be my
play.
last round pick if it got back to me. Good
That
job.
will play.
Because Cameron. But
Yes.
okay, I won't tell him because he'll just make me guess it.
Okay. All right.
Seth.
That's fine.
Is it? Oh, it's me. Sorry. Do they have to be driving a car?
Oh, don't take what I'm. Do not take what I think you're
Can
going
they
to
don't
just
think
be?
they
Can
have
they
to
just
be
be
driving a
someone who
car.
is so fast that they can overtake a car?
Nah, they got to be driving a
You
vehicle.
got to be
No, I
driving a
couldn't- I
vehicle,
couldn't
a
pick-
motorcycle, or a car.
I couldn't pick Dash from Incredibles then.
No,
No, bro.
he's not even old enough.
Jesus.
Why is he not?
There's no age limit. Or old enough to drive, I guess.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
like he's not old enough to drive, so you got to wait 20 years before he can race.
Fair point. Fair
20
point.
was a bit of an exaggeration.
I'll go. I'll go Mr. Doc Brown because he can time travel there to the ending.
Okay, that's
That's a-
that's kind of a
Okay.
pull. I like that pull.
Okay, that's a good pull. That's a good pull. Fuck. I'm so mad that two of my picks got absolutely swifted up.
Two of them?
Two of them. But Lightning McQueen would have been. I don't think Lightning McQueen.
Right,
I think
true,
Cam. It seems like he would have taken it before me, anyways.
I was waiting for 5th round.
Okay, yeah. So then maybe I would have gotten Lightning McQueen, but oh god. All right, my 4th pick, and we actually talked about him this week in our group chat. I'm gonna take Ghost Rider.
No,
because
you did to me what I did to you.
Oh, that's who you're gonna take?
That's my next pick.
Oh, that's who I thought you were gonna take when you said like, does it have to be a car?
Oh man,
that's exactly what I thought you were gonna take.
Oh, that's my only pick I've got left.
And then see, like my last pick. This is tough because like I'm trying to look through. Oh, fuck me in.
Oh, I've got a great pick.
I don't think I have any pick. I don't think I have a great pick at all. So I'm just gonna go with someone who's probably gonna slaughter people left and right while being in a car.
I don't know if that works.
Actually, forget it. I'm gonna take Jason Bourne. I'll play it safe.
That was gonna be my pick. I'm running out of options for my last pick.
Sorry, I'll play it safe there.
I'm scrambling now. Shit.
Final pick for Seth.
Wait, who'd you take, George? I didn't hear.
Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne. Okay. Yeah, that was a good pick.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, we can't take real people.
No, not real people.
Shit. I've only got one guy in my head. Oh man.
Is it me?
No. I'm going to take him because I can't think of another person. And this is a horrendous pick because it makes no sense. But he has a very significant car that's just in my mind. I'm going to say Mr. Bean.
When you get an opportunity to draft Mr. Bean, you draft Mr. Bean.
I like that bull.
I'm not sure he'd get there, but he's got a nice
so fucking funny.
Well, mine's gonna be just even probably more useless, but I'm just clarifying. You can take any motor vehicle, right? It doesn't have to. Okay.
Could it be
any vehicle? In any vehicle is in this race. This in my mind. This is a race where like it could be any terrain, any vehicle. You just need the best driver, and for that, I'm taking Captain Jack Sparrow.
What is he gonna be
on land?
Shit?
On land.
It doesn't have to be on land. It's like there's like 6 lanes, right?
No, because it was specified car race.
No, car motorcycle. I'm vetoing Jack Sparrow.
Well, I would find.
There's a water lane.
You can't clown a runner in a race and then bring out a ship and act like that's casual.
Come on. In my world, this is like a 20-lane race. We have 5 each, where, plus 2,000 on Jack Sparrow, but he's in the water and he's got his big ass ship. He's got the Black Pearl.
The Black Pearl.
Well, yeah, I'm vetoing that, but it wouldn't have mattered anyways because we saw it in Fast and Furious, like 2 or whatever. Dom Toretto was able to outrace a boat in his car and catch up to it and drive it and destroy it.
No, that was.
So I would have taken out Jack Sparrow anyways.
That wasn't Dom. That was
Brian O'Connor.
Brian, yeah.
So that's George's team. So they had.
All right,
he's on my team. Sorry, get wrecked.
I'm gonna take something less fun. Then I'm gonna go Frank Martin from The Transporter, Jason Statham. Character.
Have you guys ever seen Death Race with Jason Statham?
No.
Rings a bell.
It's literally a movie. Jason Statham is a prisoner, and I might be like telling this wrongly because I haven't seen it in a while, but like the way like you can buy your freedom is by winning a race.
I haven't seen it. I know what you're on
but it's like a death race. So like they pimp out their cars with like machine guns and like machetes and shit. And like there's no rules to the race. Like you finish the race, you're gone.
I really think I should have gotten Jack Sparrow.
Sorry for your loss.
I honestly think Dash makes more sense than Jack Sparrow for a race.
Yeah, he does.
Jack Sparrow could drive anything, all right? He doesn't have to be in a boat. I'm just saying, in my world, all right? They're in a motor vehicle. Jack Sparrow's there just...
He could just run alongside the cars in his own little lane.
All right, let me close out this draft with my final pick. Speaking of all terrains, this guy's really the real deal. And not only that, he has an arsenal of weapons to be able to slow everyone else down. It's Mr. Mario. Mario from the Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a stand-up good pick.
That's a good pick. That's a really solid pick. Yeah. I'm upset I didn't think of that, honestly. I feel stupid.
I pulled it up top, man, because I only have one. Well, I guess we're done now. The only other answer I had was Margot Robbie from Barbie, because she's able to drive without looking at the
Yeah.
looking at the road. She's able to wave without looking at the road. She's able to drive and just focus on other things at the same time. Very multifaceted talent.
I don't
Not
have
bad.
any honorable mentions.
I didn't have any honorable mentions because I thought my best pick was Jack Sparrow, and then I also thought a good pick would be Lightning McQueen. It's all right. It's all right.
George, you want to run through the draft picks?
Absolutely. Myself at the first pick, I took Batman, specifically Ben Affleck. I took James Bond, Brian O'Connor, Ghost Rider, and Jason Bourne. Seth took Ryan Gosling in Drive, Mad Max, John Wick, Doc Brown, and Mr. Bean. Cam took Ricky Bobby, Andrew Neiman, Michael Knight, Furiosa, and
Neiman,
Frank
that's his
Martin.
name.
Yeah, Andrew Neiman's a weird pick.
Hey man, he gets in that car. He goes.
I guess. And then
goes.
Tyler at our last pick took Dom Toretto, Baby from Baby Driver, Lightning McQueen, Cal Jr. from Talladega Nights, and Mario.
Yeah. Good work.
That's our draft for the week. Thank you again to all of our patrons who are the reason we're able to be able to do this every single week and crank out all this content. If you want to check out the Patreon, links in our description. Special shout out to our executive producers of today's episode. Listen them off. We got Al Bodie, Alexander Kephart, Mac Wells, Remy Walker, Seven Mod Jeffy, Alexander Biscardi, Ben Leggy, Ben Hansey, Callum Singh, Dean Cotamanidis, Dylan Ship, Ferdinando Ford, Jimmy O'Connor, Jordan Gagg, Josh Hines, Luke Durhog, Marcellus, Relapse, Rocco 1.0, Sam's 43, Sean Morales, Stefan Johnson, Tad and Bougie, Will Kim, and Jonas BBX. Shout out all of you for being executive producers of today's episode. And with that, that'll be the closing of Real Talk episode 37. Packed show today. Leave us down a comment for your favorite part, and leave us down a comment who you would pick to win a race. And we will see you in the next episode.